All right, guys. All right. I was supposed to start a little bit earlier, but power was out. But we about to watch more of DC Modern Warfare. We're gonna watch it for like 2.5 because after that I'm finna head out. So that's what we're gonna do, guys. So let me go ahead and start it up.
And then you got Surge and Royal Ravens. One of those teams will be top four here at the World Cup. A huge placing for either.
Awesome stuff for all 8 teams remaining. But the biggest match day, you gotta say, it's Optic Gaming facing off against Cloud9. The Jamil Motorsport match of the day is going to feature a showdown between 2 key SMGs. Shotzzy, the Movement King, taking on Kismet, who's reached level 99 at least once already.
Oh yeah, and friendly reminder, Optic Gaming had to go home during that post-match interview with Kismet saying he wants their key. And you know if they take it all, they're going to want to put it in that trophy.
Listen, words mean a little bit, but when you talk about LAN matchups, Optic have dominated Cloud9 this year. Last 4 matchups going Optic's way.
That'll be the 4th match on the day. Right now, the players are ready to get the party started, so let's highlight the first fight of the night. Coming up right now, we have Vancouver Surge taking on the Carolina Royal Ravens, and we haven't seen Hook on the main stage yet. He's been popping off over on the side stage, and he's ready to take the Amazon Arena by. So let's take a look at the boys rocking blue.
They're so happy walking in, man, and this team is all vibes. You know, if like a Major 4 qualifying stage earlier in the year, Seattle or Surge was making a breakthrough to be one of our top teams, right? They had some unfortunate game losses. They got back in the lab, and now it feels like it's their time. Going up against the Royal Ravens, they know they have the edge. They play at a faster pace, and they have the talent to walk through this match.
Carolina is on the other side of the stage, Alley Cat, and we saw some great performances. Beans was boppity bop in Vegas Legion, but when he ran up Optic, definitely kind of got pushed around. So what do you want to see from these boys tonight?
The biggest thing right now is my eyes are going to be on Beans. He's the new addition to this roster heading into this event. And like you said, Chris, he was not putting up the damage as the damage dealer versus Optic Gaming. And he's their backbone for success now. So that's my player to watch.
We want you all to weigh in before this match kicks off. You got 20 seconds. Head on over to stcplay.gg and let us know who you see winning. Let's hear from the analysts. Who do you guys got moving forward?
Honestly, I might have to go Vancouver Surge. I don't see Hook smiling that often.
And I got Surge. That they set, I do not think Ravens will be able to keep up with it. I got Surge in a 3-0.
The playoffs start right now.
Call of Duty fans around the world, welcome to Modern Warfare 3 at the Esports World Cup, live from Boulevard City in the heart of Riyadh. My name is Barney Banks and I am your host alongside the fantastic Kay Ali.
We kicked off the competition with the best 16 teams from all over the world. Now 8 remains. The lion's share of the $1.8 million awaits alongside the trophy. Consistency maketh champion, for only the strong prevail. Welcome to the playoffs.
Yes. Outside is a cool 48 degrees Celsius. And for those of you stateside, that is 118 Fahrenheit, but that is nothing compared to the heat that these players are about to bring to the main stage.
Yes, Barney, we got 4 more keys to crush alongside the hopes and the dreams for her. What are we waiting for? Let's bring out our contenders for today. Vancouver Surge versus Carolina Royal Ravens.
I don't know why it's doing that.
Surge with an absolutely glorious competition so far, especially coming off of that series win yesterday. But can they maintain that momentum today?
And like the cunning and relentless Ravens, they emerge from the lower brackets with a fiercer hunger and a chip on their shoulders. This one is going for distance.
It is indeed time to begin day 3. It's the playoffs.
We've got quarterfinal matchups for you guys all day today here in Riyadh, and like Marty Banks had said, it is getting toasty.
Like I said,
here, not just at the venue, but of course outside.
I'll be streaming for like 2.5 hours.
Vancouver.
Then
Really
I
interesting
gotta head
matchup
out,
here
so.
for us, Stud.
Oh yeah, very interesting matchup because the way that Vancouver
Oh,
would play
like
so far
a-
here at EWC,
match
they
two
have been
out of
absolutely
these,
lights out.
so.
And I think the reason why I'm saying that is because they were able to take down Cloud9 and not in like a game 5 situation. They went all the way up to a game 4, winning 3 maps in a row. And I think the biggest thing for them now is that they have finally added a second map to their control. So they can play either high rise or the Karachis or even an invasion at times, which we are going to have in this series.
The control really has been a big moniker for success for this Vancouver squad. The other interesting thing, though, about these two teams playing up against each other, Search and Destroy has been kind of a one-sided affair. The respawns have been pretty close, so maybe there's something to look into what happens on map 2 and 5 in the series.
Yes, 6-0 on the side of Vancouver Surge. Historically on the season versus Carolina, you have to make sure you need to at least respond in that game number 2 if you fall short in that map number 1, because what is it between them? Like 3 and 5?
Yeah.
Hardpoints are basically 50-50. Controls are a little bit more preferred on the side of Carolina, but this is an absolute matchup. If you're Carolina, you had a tough day yesterday. You go up against Optic Gaming, you fall short, you were at least able to take the Search and Destroy, but you had a great performance out of Gwyn. You have to make sure everyone is on the same page today.
It just feels like for Carolina, just get a little bit better at the control, and then everything else seems to come with it. I mean, Beans has been a massive addition towards the slaying presence the team has been able to bring to the table, and that's one of the things I think that's helped boost their confidence. So it'll be interesting to see if that honeymoon phase extends into a third day here for Carolina. Whereas the team that I think a lot of people looked at as a potential dark horse at champs is now all of a sudden starting to realize their potential. 2 map 5 losses, both in their upper round 1 and their lower round 1 at champs.
Right.
But here at this event, they have been
So it's starting at
They've only lost 1 map, man. And opening Hardpoint versus Cloud9. Okay, you'll take that. You're able to respond in the search.
All right, who we got, guys?
But
we
the
got
most important,
Vancouver
impressive
Surge
thing was
and Carolina.
that
Who we
3-0
got?
on the invasion control. You had players like
I'm
Hydra
probably
going almost
going-
triple negative, but enough about
Probably
that.
going,
It's time to get into
Vancouver,
our first
to be
matchup
honest.
of the day. Winner moves on to top.
6-star to start. We're going to have high rise for map number 2. You can see it all at the bottom part of their screen as Abusa. How about him? And we talked about it. If he was running this AR all year long, he would have been far and away probably the rookie of the year. And he's starting things off hot here for Vancouver.
Yeah, that was the recipe for success yesterday versus Cloud. The ARs played outstanding. Rezi and Abusa were 2 men on a mission with those ARs in hand, and already into this peak one, they were finding a little bit of success. But you can see Carolina swing their way back on in, all the kills going in their favor, and now they're continuously soaking up this P1 time.
Talk to this Vancouver team. We're saying, hey, Hook is coming way different today. What's been boss? He's just feeling confident. He's now back to Nuke Foreman, who will clean shots at range. Glenn able to respond to one, and he actually gets the second as well. Nate will take him out of the picture. Hardpoint goes neutral, but you look at the minimap, and you got Vancouver setting up P2 first.
Yeah, Surge have the rotation over towards Stu, but Carolina on your minimap, they're finding all the front side, so that's already 3 dead. If you are Vancouver now, you have to play for these kills instead of playing for the objective, but now the reinforcements are here, the trades are in, and Carolina hold on to the first push.
Really clean stuff for Vancouver, and now they're trying to get a little bit of separation from this next hit. Hook hitting the pinch. He's able to find not just 1, but 2. A teammate, unfortunately, into the lap of Fellow, and as 04 tries to step up, it will be Beams to shut down the play. So maybe one more chance here for Carolina to try to break.
Yeah, it wasn't Carolina holding. It was actually Vancouver in the 2v4. Great plays out of 04 to basically take the lead right on back. 30 seconds still to fight for here. You have Beans finding a double. I feel like that young man has been able to bring to this roster. Just that slaying ability. 9-3 start, already on 4 in a row. Only 20 seconds still to fight for here at this P2, and you already see on your mini map that they're taking a step ahead. Felony, nice and early off that rotation to do.
Good pitch though, coming off for Hoop, just trying to play for the rest of the scrap time. Beans gets to 5 in a row before. And this has been really kind of a paradoxical start for Carolina. Fellows just at 0-3, while Beans is 10-4. So the dichotomy of the ARs is completely separate at the moment.
But if you remember yesterday for Carolina, these are the two hills that they tended to struggle with versus Optic Gaming. These P3s and P4s, they couldn't find early breaks, and that led to them walking away with the game by 100 points. So starting off at least trading effectively, Felony able to come out on top. You were also able to flip those spawns towards the back end. So successful rotation from Carolina. Now you just got to run up that score.
No trophy system here, though, for the Royal Ravens. Seattle setting up for their break attempt around the outsides. Fellow trouble. Could he be stunned and nated? Gwyn, though, from the front, just holding onto the waterfall jump up. He's going to take down 2. Long pinch on the way from Hoop, but that's shut down by Beans. So just when you thought for a moment that Vancouver were going to find entryway, Carolina say, no, not today in the last 18 seconds.
And look at how well they are playing so far. Flawless. They're starting to take the map away from them. Beans already finds himself on another 4-3. Make it 5, trying to earn himself his first cruise missile, but unfortunately, again, does get shut down on 5 in a row. That is a flawless hold right there from Carolina. Seattle Surge able to get those final 10 seconds, but at least you already have a couple players off that rotation. But Vancouver, they said, screw this. We're going right through the middle of the map.
Beans is gunning. 17-7. Peeling players off headies. It just seems like no gunfight is a bad one for him to take at the moment. And with that, the Royal Ravens find themselves up about 40 points. Time being earned. Pinch also on the way. Carolina just spreading the map, and Vancouver have idea how to deal with it. Hook, the last one standing, tries to force the engagement, but he's shut down, and 3 Ravens will survive.
And that's Beans trusting his teammates. He was holding down security, realizing, okay, you guys are spawning on the opposing side. I just want to hold these angles. You guys got to clutch up on those gunfights. They clutch up on every single one of them to still hold on to this hard point. He's having himself one hell of this series. Already breaching that 100-point mark, still 20 seconds to fight for, and this is perfect for Carolina. This chunk time is going to be yours, and you're already showing presence around that mid-map.
I mean, when Beans is finding not just kills but damage like this, I'm sure TJ's like, I'm in there. Like, let me run and fly at him. And it's working out beautifully through this first for the side of Carolina. Beans is still just popping off. 20-8. More damage. Talon slows down this next hit for the Surge, who have to just group up and try to flood this from mid.
Right now, 0-4 is not having the best performance, and neither is Brad. You got to turn it around on the second half of the game. There goes the S&G duo to strike. They're able to find a double. And now with the AR, he's trying to get it done. Unfortunately, he does fall, so the break comes in for Surge. But this is the time you need to get back into this game and also maintain those spawns for next.
And it does look like they have an idea that Beans is here, but it doesn't make a difference. This guy is unbelievable right now. 21-10 eventually shuts down. Fook holding on to the inside of the bar, up and over the head. He's able to find one big win by himself, but there's no follow-up. 0-4 is tagged. He can't come on back through, and just as soon as he makes the challenge, TJ turns that into 2, and Gwyn follows up to cleanly wipe out the floor.
And now this is where Carolina can be the aggressors. They're already walking away with this final 20 of junk time, but Surge realizing, all right, this game is starting out of hand. We can't give this up for free. We're still going to try to go for the contest and the boozer with the double. Going to be able to secure that final 10 seconds. Vancouver again start off with the initial spawns for the backside of P2. You just cannot allow Carolina to slay their way through the front and make it way more mixed.
And you might just need to slow down for a beat here. I mean, you're dealing with a 12-32 between Brezzy and 0-4 combined. That's not good, and also not very common. But as Vancouver start to set themselves up with the spawns, now it's just down to if they could break the hills and jump into a surgeless mid.
I got it.
Keep putting. It's not time. It's like back corner. Yeah. What's mid life, guys? Nice. That's you. You got it. Yeah, go. Mid. I'm here.
I'm pretty sure he's mid somewhere.
Someone. Okay, that's watch that. Left side. Give me a second. Go try. Yeah, right. Jordan, right.
Yo, he's in white.
He's 40 on that. Nice shot.
In white on me?
One time. What is time?
I'm showing white. One guy is.
I'm long right now.
Show me.
Yeah, we can go.
One time. Baby white.
Well, Hook is trying to inject some energy, but Carolina winning on rotation as they grow their lead back to 60+, so we bounce right into a Royal Ravens listening.
I have blue.
I'm looking wood teach. I have wood. What do you want, boys? Pop wood. Oh, forward. I have blue mid. Upstairs. I'm one shot. Two. Open. My front hop's open. I'm looking wood. I have wood. Get my hop. I have wood. Trying to get it. Hop. I'm looking wood. Nice. I'm going up wood. One more hop. Nice. Good shit. Open. I'm going office. Listen, I'm going office. Okay. Yeah, I'm coming in. Get to know. It could be you, Isaiah. It could be you. No. I got Rapti.
Let me come on.
My play go. I'm looking to top.
You look lobby, Ben.
Look mid. Their side. Go on top office. One to hit the deep route, I think. Resi top office. Resi top office.
And the comms with the Roy Ravens is fantastic. You can already hear Beans. No one is messing with him right now on the map. 30 and 13. He's finding a 2-piece, finding a 3-piece. The only thing he has yet to earn on this map is a cruise missile, but he is shooting tremendously straight right now.
I mean, it's just Carolina could do no wrong. Everyone is sitting at massively positive stat lines. 04 finally starting to heat up just a touch. Double there keeps the man surge into the new hard point. 35 seconds on the fight for Carolina, looking to set up for mid hit.
Still a lot of time though at that P4 HP, but if you are Vancouver, you got to make sure you're maintaining around the rest of the map. But that initial 2 kills going in favor of Carolina, they're going to apply all that pressure through mid connector. Bahook and Abuza combined for 3. So this is a potential start back up for Surge. You need to walk away with this final 15. You're already showing a lot of pressure over towards that middle of the map. But if you pay attention to your mini-map, Felony gets blessed with a free pinch spawn, and he's also able to get that kill.
And the last 2 left alive are the 2 players that you need to start seeing wake up. Now it's just down to 04, trying to get out. Like not going to happen. Win turns that into a double, and it's just the quickness, the tempo that Carolina are putting on the map. Vancouver cannot hang on. Unreal scenes. 50 seconds to fight for here at New, and Ravens could win the game right here.
That's crazy when you talk about tempo, because on the opposing side, you got 04 and Uber, the 2 fast that we had throughout the entire season. Just not in sync right now. Carolina are able to breach that 200-point mark. They're continuously running up the score. Boozer trying to put himself in a position to not let this time get away from him. But every time you turn, there's another player from Carolina ready for the gunny. Already 3 dead in defeat. Win on 5 in a row. They can still win it here.
I don't know what these guys had for breakfast or lunch, but I'm going to need it immediately sent to room service because, oh my goodness, even Fellow getting involved. A Bruce's double gets immediately countered out by one of Beans, and now all of a sudden, it's all Ravens just trying to take this over the finish line, and why not? Getting aggressive. Beans right there to follow up as well. They will at least maybe see one more hill, but look at the setup. TJ still finding kills, and the Ravens are going to fly on into a map 1 win.
Yeah, and the spawn's always so across the map for Vancouver. They're not going to have an opportunity to get back into the game. And Carolina Royal Ravens, the team that has preferred this hard points versus this Vancouver squad, they get another one added to the tally in dominant fashion.
I don't know
to go
if people
up
realize they literally dropped 100 kills in that
double
one.
kills for every single member of the Carolina Royal Ravens. For Prezi at 04, monitors on because, wow, I don't think we've seen them get bullied that badly in a long time.
Showed up a little bit late to the party, man. They were not ready to spawn it on the 6-star. Obviously, if you're Carolina, you had the opportunity yesterday to play this versus Optic. You were able to go back and realize mistakes that you were able to make. You needed to step up in the pacing. That was fantastic. But the slaying department was way too easy. It was a 40 burger right down to Mr. Beans. And then 30 plus out of Gwyn. He started to turn up out of nowhere. Also 2 minutes and 20 seconds in the hill. And if you're T-Bell, about 12 to 17, I promise you he's leading in the comp. Sure, everything is orchestrated properly, and that was a dominant opening hardpoint.
They didn't need him.
No.
I mean,
100 plus
wow,
kills,
unreal scenes. Nearly 6K damage for 2 members on the Ravens. 41 and 17? Are we kidding each other right now? Real stuff. On the other side, what was like 27 and 56 combined in terms of the KD for Resi at 04. So, I mean, legitimately, that is a 1v2 pretty much the entire way for the side of Mr. Ben Beans.
And if you're Vancouver, you got to shake that one off and shake it quickly, because yesterday, at least you had stellar performances out of AR players. Resi was going completely bonkers versus Cloud9, especially in the search and destroy. And 04, having a slow start, sometimes you're running that SMG, you're feeling like, okay, I'm playing too slow at moments. But then when you're playing too fast, you're always running into gunfights. It's going so far away across the map. It's taking a lot of the time for you to even
the Bruiser, you can't do everything.
And it was just very difficult from start to finish for Vancouver, even though they did have a majority of the spawns for that P2. But everything else, Carolina flawless off the rotation towards P3, great on early breaks around that P1 area. And then P4, they were the team that soaked up a majority that time as well.
Clean stuff. I mean, you could break it down a million different ways, but you're going to come away with the reaction that Carolina dominated. Yeah, that's pretty much the only words you need to know from start to finish. So,
Now all of a sudden we start to take a look back over the series. We got a high-rise search and destroy coming up here. Again, it's one of those things that this is still a team, so to speak, here for Carolina, but it does feel like their search has come in pretty darn prepped up for this event.
Oh yeah, because they were able to take this map yesterday versus Optic Gaming, the only one that they took in the series, even though it was all the way in round 11. It came down to a 1v1, and Beans was able to beam dash it across the map, but you were able to go back and watch that, and that is fantastic. We're able to make those adjustments. Obviously, Gwent dropping 14 and 7, earning the cruise missile going into the round 11 definitely helped, but you're more focused today, if you are Carolina, on working this objective. I feel like they did not get a single plant yesterday versus Optic because they made it very tough, especially showing a lot of presence towards top heli. You cannot be picked off.
Yeah, that's the big part, and I think the person you're looking at in particular could just come down to TJ. I think he had 4 first deaths in that match versus Optic when we were casting them. So that's going to be kind of a focus point, whereas for Vancouver, they were one of the top search and destroy teams at one moment in time throughout this year. So can they continue to find success? Opening first blood, good for 04. That's a heck of a way to start, too, especially after the slow hard point. Follow-up good from Abuza, keeping 04 safe, and that's now a 4v2 for Vancouver.
Yeah, that's the dynamic duo right there for Surge. Making sure you're having each other's backs covered. Now it turns into a 2v4, Beans and Fellow. Left to Sean up. You can already see Vancouver getting aggressive up on the map. Hook is just waiting to strike. He finds that kill on the Beans. 1v4 for Felony. He's only able to take down 1, and that is a perfect response to stop the bleeding off of that map, number 1. Come out swinging in round 1. And
I think as well, on top of that, 04 finding first blood is just part of the equation. It's where he finds.
Yes.
If Vancouver can continue to have that pit dominance, that's been one of their linchpins towards success on the entirety of the year, is being able to freely go from underground to underground, using bottom blue as kind of a route that they can both utilize both on the defensive side as well as on the offensive. So to be interested to see if 04 can just feel himself out down towards bottom blue in that underground area.
Yeah, just continue to play around your teammates. Obviously, that was an orchestrated setup there. You find that first blood, you back down, you throw a shoulder, gain the info, and set up a boozer for that second kill. So teamwork makes the dream work for the Surge roster, and Abuza this time around, he's able to find that first blood. Confidence is roaring through this young man, already to a 3-0 star, trying to make it 4, but he's just going to play his life.
Yeah, really smart route here from 04. Takes this player out of the A windows. Follow is easy from Hook. And wow, okay, this has been just as convincing as the hard point was for Carolina. Nice shot. Can he find a second, though? He's going to get overwhelmed from his left and right simultaneously, and that will be enough for, again, Surge to take a quick first blood and turn that into an easy round.
Yeah, and you're probably expecting there, if you are Carolina, all right, they're not going to get aggressive on offense. There's no trophy system still to work with, so we're just going to spread the map out and see what they're going to throw at. When you find Abuza getting that first blood from window to window, that makes it a lot easier because now you have the man advantage. 04 already took a lot of space over there towards the propane for that second kill. And then you know Hook is bound to be in the play somewhere. He sets up the pitch for the final. And TJ left in the 1v3, stood no chance. So being 2 rounds in a row.
Look back over this round from 04, like we talked about, using that blue side of the map. Definitely something to keep in the back of our minds here. Is now 04. Hook going to try to make a play over towards A. And that's going to be convincing control over towards Kelly's side. Fellow in trouble. The wall bang does not connect, or we'll still stay on just a 4-0 start.
They have a lot of their bases covered over towards this B site. They realize that it's not going to be easy to work this objective over towards A. Positioning right now out of Abuza, holding down that B lane by. Yep. This is such a crucial spot to try to shut down this play in 04. Sitting on 0-4, but we potentially are going to have an engagement on the cards through bottom blue. Look at the play.
Absolutely the case. You also see Brizzy was kind of watching the backside of this. And yeah, this is a really good late rotation here from the side of Vancouver. You called it perfectly, Jay. Abuza's out there by himself. We're getting the cross, and then Hook coming back over from the front side at Heli will once again utilize that bottom underground position to overwhelm Carolina. It starts with the long crossing battles, but it finishes with the close-up action.
It's just beautifully played right there out of Vancouver, man. Like making the play come to them. The fact that Abuza find 1, but also the second kill as well. 04 didn't even have to shoot his gun. Their setups right now are flawless. They're realizing of what Carolina are trying to throw at them, taking the ground away. When you're finding success in that first blood category, now 3 rounds in a row, always up in the man advantage, is going to make it a lot easier.
Oh, yeah. And the cushion of 3 rounds allows you to do some weird things if you want to. Just keep Carolina on the back foot. This has been as convincing as any search we've seen so far on the weekend. And how about this? 3-man hit over towards the A side of the map initially. Fellow up top. catching some nades. I don't know if he gets tagged by that, though. 04 is in a good spot to watch for the jump peak, and yeah, he will confirm that, fellas, here at Windows.
Oh, and another first blood time out of Brezzy. Look at how aggressive, though, Carolina take over towards that B Street. They take that away from Vancouver, but they said, screw that. We're just going to find that first blood across the map. Now in the man advantage, the playmakers ready to make some plays. Luke roaming through bottom pit. Sort of has a read that there's at least a couple players around this site, puts down shots into Beans, but just going to give the info to his team.
Stun lands, Brezzy on the hunt, and that should be isolation. I mean, this is perfect in every form of the word. Absolute perfection from Vancouver. They have gotten, what, 4 deaths at most? And we're 4 rounds in. This has been beautiful.
You can always rely on Vancouver Surge to show that teamwork prowess in Search and Destroy specifically. They have been great from the start of the season. They're closing out the season. It's one of the top teams in this mode for a reason. Because that's now, what, 4 first bloods?
Yep.
They're slowly working around the map. You're forcing Carolina to change their defensive look because a lane is open. Someone has to sort of pick that up. And then every time that lane gets switched out, a player is making his way through, making the play.
That's exactly it. It's legitimately layer after layer. It is checkpoint Call of Duty of hit condition 1, move to condition 2, find success there, and, well, Brezzy, an aggressive battle through mid. But again, because that player at mid is not being able to watch anything, who gets into the site for free? He's got help up top over towards elevators. I mean, again, Vancouver are getting the defensive setup that they want.
Yeah.
They're already trying to take B Street away from them, but they did not read the positioning out of TJ. He gets aggressive over towards the pro brain side, following the first blood in favor of the Ravens. They have the man advantage, and they also able to isolate onto a Boozer. So this should be around in the so just got to play your trades correctly.
I will say I like the idea from Abuza right there, though, to try to come around the backside of the play, but Carolina are very privy to it. And now it is just down to Brezzy. He's been figured out a while ago in terms of him playing towards A windows. Going to dance with the devil a little bit here as he resets the position, but Bob will be planted, and this will be a 4 chance for him.
Yeah, Brezzy's on 4 in a row, so how aggressive he decide to be in this situation? Does he potentially earn himself a cruise missile, and he's not going to even attempt to try to clutch up in this round. Carolina had them trapped in towards the back. Don't know if they're going to try to play for this kill to not allow to actually pick up that cruise, but everyone is sending it. Yep.
Stuns won't land initially, but it looks like Brezzy will be caught from behind here. Or maybe not. Okay, decent attempt, but good heads-up awareness from Carolina. Don't allow him to have a chance to keep playing for this. If he earns a cruise missile, this search is just done.
Thankfully, TJ was able to put himself in a position for that first blood. Finds that kill onto the player on top Propane. And then into the 3v4, Abuza realizes, okay, we're in a man disadvantage. I have to try to make something happen. Gets aggressive up through the B Street and was not prepared for 2 players to turn that corner. So Vancouver successful on the round after getting that first blood, but you need a couple more to even get yourself back into the game.
Yeah. I mean, big time. But, hey, first blood turns into a first-round win. Okay, we can work with that. Just comes down to can they change the patterns of the trends, which have still been largely controlled by what the server is able to do. Gwyn quickly in towards the site. Beans now looking to get a little bit more aggressive towards B Alley. TJ playing the opposite side of the map, and Vancouver will continue to try to just work towards this bottom pit angle.
Showing a lot of presence through bottom mid, but TJ now taking a little bit of pages out of shots. He finds that second first blood of the map. Early man advantage in favor of Carolina, but Luke is just ready to go. The nuke strikes. He's only able to take down 1, and Gwyn and TJ respond with 2. So Abuza now in a 1v3.
Yeah, I love that from Carolina. I mean, you get the first blood, but nothing gets aggressive after what we've seen to this point, and this is not just extensional towards this particular map, but what we've seen throughout the weekend is if Vancouver can get a first blood, they're going to run at you.
Yeah.
If they get first blooded, they're going to try to slow down and find one guy to hit a route. So the fact that Carolina have gotten a good read on the pace in that Seattle, Vancouver, have been able to pull is a good sign towards potentially bringing this map back.
Yeah, the mid-game adjustments are starting to come in for Carolina. They've realized that, okay, we can't give up our first bloods for free. Let's stall out these rounds a little bit and force Vancouver to switch up their defensive looks. That's now 2 in a row for them. This time a different approach. They're going to double stack through bottom mid. They're instantly going to contest over towards that B street, so that objective might get instantly planted.
But I love this read from TJ. He sees the defensive stun get thrown towards top blue, so he knows he needs to lock down the lane, and now TJ's on Fox. And on top of that, he's found a rival 9 to play with if he wants to. Shots from Brezzy alert now Carolina to the position over the defense towards A. TJ not able to quite scout him yet, but focus for Carolina can go right back over to B now.
Yeah, you have a lot of time to work with, so let's continuously play for a little bit of information before we even think about that objective, because you know players like always going to put themselves in a position to contest it, and he's able to hit top before at least one kill, but Gwyn effective on the trade. Still the man advantage in favor of Carolina. TJ on 5 in a row. He's going to set up this pinch play potentially for this free cruise.
That sound's about to expire, but he's seen the target he needs to, and now a cruise missile earned from TJ. Wow, what a flip of the script here from Carolina. So Brezzy will find himself in a 1v3 playing from the opposite side of the site. Maybe a chance up the ladder, but no, Gwyn watching it the entire way, and it's 3 in a row for Carolina.
And realistically, it's all about TJ now. You said it yesterday. He had 4 first deaths. So far, that's 3 first bloods in a row from TJ. He earns himself the cruise missile. It's 3 rounds in a row for Carolina fighting their way back into this game. And now through a surge, that pacing and everything that you had for your initial game plan, you got to throw something totally different because you have a cruise to worry about.
Absolutely. I'm loving what I'm seeing in terms of the immediate adjustments for Carolina. I think this team in the past we've also kind of seen have moments like this, but to be able to pull it in forms of first blood tallies, getting a read on the tempo that Vancouver's trying to throw at you, and dealing with beautiful stuff. This time going to be passive defensive setup here for Carolina. A lot of focus through the mid lane. With just Gwyn playing aggressive, he may have been stunned there, but doesn't dissuade him from still holding his position. The follow-up nades don't land, so he's very healthy here.
Yeah, Gwyn's in a great position to contest over towards this B site. He's also contesting over towards B Street. He is on 6 in a row, potentially around it. You want to call it that cruise, but 0-4 finds the angle for the first blood.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of a misstep right there from Gwyn. He's trying to get extra information at mid. He just gets caught. And now TJ trying to force some sort of a trade. That's not going to work out. Defense holding back now for kind of trying to receive wherever this hit is coming from. You've got Hook and 04 trying to play through the underground, and TJ's not going to be able to get the timing for it. 4v2 for Surge.
So now Beans and follow the ARs for Carolina. Let's try to clutch on up. Only 30 seconds left on the game clock. Eventually, over for these objectives over towards this B site. You just don't want to get caught off guard. And now you have Felony slowly working his way up through bottom pit. He potentially is going to find the angle, but the bomb goes down. He still finds the kill.
He's trying to help him on the cross. Whoa! Nice shots from Fellow. Just can't quite finish off the kill towards Abuza. And now Beans is in trouble top helipad. Decent shots, but can't finish Abuza at range. And now he will be completely taken advantage of over towards top heli. No worries there. And with that, Vancouver put themselves on that point.
And so far, it's been a battle of the first bloods. Whoever has successfully found that first blood has secured the round win at the very end. With 0-4 that angle onto Gwyn. It's a great start off, and then see TJ gets aggressive up through the B Street. He was just not prepared for the bad timing he was going to get through underground.
Right.
Put it into a 4v2. You let the game clock wind down. You work that plant, find the effective trade, close it out. Now you're at game point.
This will feel familiar, though. Carolina brought around 11 back by winning 3 in a row against Optic yesterday. And they had a cruise missile to help for that. So it just comes down to, can they repeat it? Opening nades towards pit are going to land. Hook will drop. In Carolina, they may try to go quick here to try to take over the Surge side ground.
Yeah, and that's beautifully timed right there. And teamwork out of Carolina, because they realize, okay, we're going to get aggressive through bottom blue. Everybody chuck your nades for that first blood. Gwyn also finds his second kill onto the round. So now in a 4v2, you got to invest a cruise missile. Here, TJ across the map is able to strike onto Brezzy. And with Boosa left in the he's in a really good spot.
If the first transfers doesn't finish off the second, if he gets that kill, maybe there's a world where we start to talk about the possibilities of this. It's not over yet, but obviously Carolina are now very alerted to where he's positioned. The bomb's been collected and will be tracked back over for Planet A.
Yeah, it's basically a GG in the 1v3. He's going to be able to find the freebie, though, onto Gwyn. The snap, not good enough, though. That is going to send Carolina at least to force this round number 10. And now on the defensive side, all you want to do is play for the info. Don't one drop early, because TJ with that cruise is instantly going to be able to stop that objective when it goes down.
Yeah, that's the big point about this is I think you can try to set up your defense to play off the cruise in this round. Offensively, they found some pretty decent success. Now, keep in mind the patterns here. Vancouver, their most amount of success in first bloods have been by getting aggressive over the side of the map, whether that be at the alley or more particularly down low in the underground. Can they find a way to get that success again? Bomb being left. They're looking to get aggressive with nades early here.
How fast Hook is playing in towards bottom blue. But they know that TJ has a cruise missile. So that's why they're going to play a little bit safer. Putting himself in close quarter situation where they can At least keep themselves alive from that cruise missile. It's already been 25 seconds knocked off the game clock. The cruise is going to get invested. This is all the information now gained for Carolina. Do they decide to take the map away from them?
Oh, Gwynn's trying to chase. He's trying to chase down Brett. Doesn't find him, though. Cruise missile. Oh, no. I mean, what are we talking about? That is Gwynn down low, near the door. Cruise missile takes him out of the picture, and simultaneously as it being called in, Beans will drop, and now it's a 4v2 for Vancouver.
And Hook's able to find Felony across the map. So now it's a 1v4 onto TJ. Does he have a miracle in him? Positioning already known, and 0-4 is able to close it out with that final kill. Vancouver tied the series up at 1. But what we doing with that cruise,
man? I mean, if you're Gwynn, you're sitting there like, really? That cruise missile was hit top windows, and he's bottom pit door.
That's tough, man, because you got to keep in mind, the cruise missile was coming in nice and slow. Gwynn was the player that was getting aggressive, taking the map away from them, trying to catch them off guard with his positioning. But the unfortunate team kill happened. I feel like TJ always has at least one of those moments in every single title. Remember last year he dated himself in a 1v1. You just don't see things like that happen. But Vancouver were able to respond on the back of the first blood again. 6-4 is the final score in that column. 6-4 in the final score of this to destroy the tie the series up at 1.
There's a lot of ways that we can be critical of that last round, but I think most importantly, it's something we don't even see. It's the fact that Prezi gets isolated, but he gets out at bottom underground. Because that wasn't just Gwynn on the hunt. You also had Beans playing over towards the A side of the map, looking to trap him bottom blue. And unfortunately, drops in the same breath. Gwynn can't quite find Prezi, let alone the fact that he gets team killed out from the cruise. So just tough scenes overall. A heck of an effort from Carolina, but the opening start for Vancouver just too dominant.
Yeah, they came out swinging, man. Carolina started to turn the game around, though. Like TJ with multiple first bloods, 3 in a row. It was himself the cruise missile. I thought when you're in a 4-3 situation, best as cruise missile there, because you can tie the game up at 4, and then you're making the surge very, very nervous because you started off swinging in this game. And then Carolina had made those mid-game adjustments. Just unfortunate at the very end when they actually decided to call in the cruise, a team goes with it.
Good reads, though, from TJ midway through, allowing Carolina to start to bounce back. Plus, of course, earning the cruise missiles in the first place was a lifeline. Definitely kept us on the edge of our seats just a touch here. But all things told, Vancouver continued to really impress us with what they brought to the table with the search and destroy. With that, now we start to look at an invasion control. And this is, again, not just the map, but the mode overall has been where Carolina have really suffered. We did get a chance to talk to them a little bit this afternoon before everyone started to come to the venue. They know that their control is poor. They also know that the spawns that they had in Karachi are sometimes on a... So it's weird, like we heard it from, I think it was TJ Stickers, like invasion control's the best map we have right now in terms of options. So at least they've got that going.
Yeah, it tends to be their best map. But if you think about the season, like even when Clay was back in the roster, they couldn't really find a lot of success on invasion overall. So obviously you don't want to avoid the Karachi bad spawns. You're spawning all the way across the map for apparently no reason. And in the high rise they played yesterday versus Vegas, they got 3-0'd on it and completely outstayed. So they're trying to bring a different recipe for success here, throwing in the invasion control. And if you are Surge, at least tying up the series in Search and Destroy, this is a map that you dominated versus Cloud9 yet. 0-4 pulled out that 3rd or 4th AR at a time, and he was also able to slay with the best of them. So you're very confident if you are Surge, so at least put yourself in a 2-1 advantage on this invasion.
The other side of things, too, is that Rio hardpoint that's still lingering. Yes, Vancouver did drop this to Cloud9 yesterday. A very tight map, so it just comes down to, again, trusting the SFGs are not going to have back-to-back bad hardpoint. Oh yeah, that will be there for us. But Jay, I think overall, happy to see both these two teams be as evenly matched as we are.
Yeah, we've already seen the adjustments coming in. Obviously, yesterday for Carolina, they play that 6-star versus Optic. They get smoked. Make the adjustments today. They do the smoking. Then Surge, they responded to Search and Destroy. What is that, 7-0 in the season versus Carolina? They are good at SCD for a reason.
Sometimes you just get a rock that meets paper, or paper that meets scissors. That seems to be what we have in the Search and Destroy. But at least we're going to get a control and another hard point when we come back in the backside of the break. So far.
All right, we'll be right back.
It's the EWC and you want to play like a pro. Well, we've got a lesson for you. Axe on. You're fresh, ready to fight and grind those long hours. It's how it should be. Axe off. You're slow, unfocused, and lagging. Do you get it? Let's go again. To unleash your best game, you must freshen up first. Get your axe on. Spray, play, repeat. Axe and Esports World Cup.
لحظات البداية عاشت معنا. كنا نحسبها وقت للتسلية بس. نحسبها بس ذكريات.
عبود أعطي أختك اليد يا ولد.
ابتكرنا فيها ابتكارات، وإذا بغينا قلبناها خرافات. كنا نحسبها بس لمة وصحبة وسهرات. لكن كنا نشوف عالم ما حد يشوفه.
لا تشغل وقته بشيء يفيده.
الله عليك على الصوت. عالم كبر وعاش فينا. عالم الحماس فيه يوصلك كل مرة لحلم أصعب، بس ما يصعب عليك. وين تروح؟
To the Esports World Cup featuring Modern Warfare 3. That's Jay Stud. Hey, of course it is. How are you doing, buddy? You look good today. I love this shirt, by the way.
Yeah, man. You know, I was trying to match the vibes of Riyadh. You know, it's not the best, but it seems pretty nice.
I'm liking it. It looks really airy, real light. It's hot.
Yeah, I'm still sweating, though. You know me.
All right, guys, I finna
series here for our opening quarter.
Be right back.
Hopefully the coffee's kicking in for all of you in North America still waking up because this series deserves your full attention. We've got a 1-1 count between the Vancouver Surge and the Carolina Royal Ravens.
Get ready
now
to
going into
head out
invasion
in
control. Feels like the best opportunity for Carolina to show us some light control, generally speaking.
This is a map that, at least in the first series versus Vegas, they were able to walk away victorious in a clean 3-0. So both of these squads on the weekend have a 3-0 underneath their belt. So this might be the deciding factor of who's going to walk away with this entire series here. As it's going to be Carolina
I'll be right back,
on the attacking side early on. They're not showing any it's over towards A. They want to get the easy one out the way first at this B point.
The interesting thing is they're not really stacking for it, though. They're still trying to feel out where the Surge defense is coming from. And as Beans gets a read that there are a couple of contestants over towards mid-tank, Fellow has to keep his eyes now over towards the DVD alley push, and that's where Surge will make their... Whoa, TJ pops off for 2 in the beat. Fellow trying to finish off the final. That's all 4 down and a chance, not just for B progress, but keep your eye on number 3. Beans has an opportunity to play up the alley.
Yeah, look how aggressive Beans takes over towards that B street. He realizes that, okay, my teammates are most likely going to capture over towards that B point. So let me just a little bit of presence at Ace, force them on this side of the map, and allow them to extend this time early on. As Carolina currently leading in this lane department by 2, almost 3 kills, but Abuza with the snap onto Beans gets it done, and now you have to get past that frame when your Beans off the respawn.
Yeah, and he actually spawns over towards Ice Cream. So that's going to give him alerted that, yep, our Palace spawn is under threat right now. Extra 60 seconds is added, but Carolina are just going to hold. Brezzy seems to have been figured out. Quinn also gets a read over towards Hook, but the Rival 9 too strong in that position. Does get traded out, so at least there's some mid-map control. Problem is, you got to get rid of this bridge.
Yeah, it all starts with at least this kill in towards Cat.
Oh, here we go.
Now you're going to force this player over towards Waterbridge and Abuza to try to stay alive as long as he can. The nade is not able to connect, but TJ gets to the read. If he can win this gunfight even better, with Brezzy effective on the trade, you're still going to put yourself in a position, though, if you are Carolina clock at a pause, but everyone falls around Gwyn. Last fella alive, you gotta make a miracle happen.
Well, he's done well to catch the first. The problem is the Surge are all over the Carolina spawns. That's dealt with, though. And I mean, you've got Brezzy still way on the other side. Yeah. The spawns are not good here for Vancouver. That's going to be a first tick done. You up on the cross here for Ravens on this opening offense, and Fellow finds elimination. That should be enough for at least someone else the Ravens to jump at the point.
Yeah, this is a scary situation right here. If you are Surge, and they do not find a single kill in the feed, now the double stack, the triple stack is about to be in. Second segment already done. Gwyn is still going to be alive. Get trophies down, but that is going to be the round. Okay, Ravens, the improvements on Invasion are definitely showing.
I mean, that's just a great hero play from Gwyn to start.
Yeah.
But I think more importantly, Vancouver spawning so deep out, Brezi's just not moving fast enough, it feels like.
But that's the focus right there of Surge. The fact that they were thinking, we got 2 players contesting over towards Gwyn at that 8 point. One of them are bound to get a trade. Neither one to do. So the other 2 players are playing for those spawn kills. And when they were putting themselves on that B Street side of the map, you're not going to get those gas station spawns. You're going to spawn all the way around blue. So they didn't even have an opportunity to shut down that potential first coming in. But then when Fellow over the top catches a freebie with a nade, it keeps Gwyn alive for long enough, and then the rest of his teammates all the respawn, challenge you mid, win all the gunfights, and then the stack comes in. Perfectly played right there out of Raven.
Just domino effect, absolutely. Opening engagements over towards the B side of the map. Hoop trying to sneak out a broken map. Brezi follows up for his trade. Abuza still holding on to mid while the rest of the reinforcements for the Surge continue to get over towards Brezi's direction. First tick done. Second on the way. Not a stack, though, so it is just Brezi by himself on the point.
And they still want to try to maintain a little bit of that mid-map control. You can already see on your mini, players like that only hitting this long route, trying to time this to perfection. Don't know if he's going to check right underneath him when he jumps over this wall, so Abuza should be able to catch a freebie, but the second segment is already done. The third is on the way, and here comes Abuza.
Has to follow up off of this in a big 1v1 win, with Hoop clearing out DVD. Extra 60 seconds on the mark. TJ, oh, good read. He must have his headset cranked. Are you kidding? So the snap is good, and now TJ knows that there's a threat through DVD, and he'll find a second as well.
Time has already been extended. TJ is able to find a double, so at least he gains the info. The 2 players are coming off of the respawn. Where are the last 2 from the Surge? They're trying to hold down that blue position to allow their teammates to get back into the play. Abuza is at least able to strike for 1, but Fellow over the top catches a spawner. And now you're just more focused on these players in the back of your spawn. You cannot allow Abuza to continue to slay you in your spawn.
Yeah, Fellow kind of in the similar position that we saw from last time around over towards Water Bridge. But he is by himself, and the Surge are deep through gas. Big first win. Gwyn follows up, taking the second and third. What a map we're starting to see coming out of Gwyn, 3 in a row. And all the meantime, Fellow stays, at least for the most part, safe over towards Water. Trade out as Gwyn 4 in a row.
Gwyn's on 4 in a row. Finds the ace right there in that moment. It's the reset button now for Surge. They're trapped in towards the backside of Palace, and look at all the ground that Ravens have taken away from them. You're already showing presence over towards B Street, but if you're TJ, you can't turn your back on that angle because they are forced to hit that overextension, so now they have an angle of attack.
Yeah, Fellow knows he's in trouble, tries to go 1-for-1, not going to be allowed to, and now you've got essentially all 4 Surge members running forward, trying to get up and towards Cafe. Maybe a chance with 1 more set of kills to get onto the A zone, but TJ off the respawn does well to stay alive. Gwyn looking for kill number 5, clean with the pistol. Now it's just down to can he find kill number 6, and he's going to get some separation at mid to try to play his life a little while longer, looking for the cruise.
Yeah, just continuously play these corners. Make your life a lot more difficult to be found. Now he switches it up. Brezi's not going to check it. Cruise missile earning the shots even better. The rookie of the year on 7 in a row. TJ across the map also finds the 3rd player. This is where you can tend to be aggressive with only 30 seconds left. Vancouver, you're going to waste at least 15 to even work out of your base.
Oh, big time. This has to go quickly and very successfully if you're... No progress being made over towards A really at all this round as Gwyn continues to stay alive on this streak. Eventually shut down, but it just does not make a difference. Last one to find would be 04, and Beats, even though he's had a slower map, he's still letting them know about it. Fellow on the cross is making sure there is action for Surge in this offense.
Just flawless right there on the defensive side for Carolina. Even though Beans isn't shooting the best with his AR, you got the rookie of the year for a reason. He is stepping up tremendously in these moments. And then every single time you were trying to fight for that mid-map control, it was always TJ position playing for those trades. So the communication is on point right now for Carolina. Surge with their backs against the wall, already down by 3 segments. If you're Carolina, just go towards B. Extend the time early on again, and now you have a cruise missile to work with for your attack at A.
Absolutely. And then you can also guarantee yourself the round 5 defense with that as well. I like the call. Play it safe, play it smart. Don't do anything too cute. And that's exactly what's going to happen here, Jay. It's like you've played the game professionally once or twice.
You know, been around the block a couple times.
2 members on trophy system here. TJ for first blood, and this zone might just be gone right here.
Double stack going. You have 1 player as he contesting. He puts down great shots into Gwyn. Only 52 HP. He has to now play his life. But the repositioning and still knowing that Brezi has yet to fall. Finally, he's going to be able to get that kill. That's now 3 dead in the feed. Second segment already going to be done. Can you try to contest? you are Hook, but with that SMG in hand, those gunfights are not preferred.
Look, not to sound biased as a Charlotte resident, but this is a fun team to watch right now. This Raven squad is clicking. All these little micro movements playing off each other has been absolutely perfect in the respawn. And now you've got yourself 3 life advantage, a cruise missile to play with. Gwyn is still finding kills across the map. If he gets this one with the pistol, oh my! Might lose my lid. But instead it's TJ to finish things off, and now Seattle, or we've got Vancouver at the player on the backside of gas for Felony's waiting for him.
And look at Felony. He's just putting himself in the corner. He's waiting for the info off of the before he decides to make his play. And all the comms are coming in, and Gwyn is actually able to connect onto one. Fellow is going to give up his positioning, putting down shots onto 04, not able to get the kill. And now if you're Vancouver, this is your main focus.
Yeah.
You got to kill Felony.
Well, who clears out the front with the double. Not able to chase down Fellow, who tracks back over towards blue side, and he's got himself now on the regen with help moving through this OE position. And he actually hears the door pop from Hook, but the rival 9 and Hook stands too strong as Vancouver now can set up their defense.
And TJ again roaming around this middle of the map, playing his corners, finding another kill. Gwyn through as well finds the third. So this is where it gets scary because no one's watching over to towards the street. So if you are Beans, you can get into the point for free. You would really love that cruise missile in this situation, but you got teammates watching your crosses.
I mean, Gwyn's a walking kill streak right now. 17-8. He's still locking down mid-map. You got Fellow watching the cross. Lock out the reload. Awkward battle. And he still almost gets the better of Hoop, but instead it's Vancouver finding the kills. Every single one of them. It's a full 4-man down. First tick gets locked, but again, that's pretty insignificant. This is just down to Carolina 3-0 because they already guaranteed themselves round 5.
Yeah, that's guaranteed now. You can't make up 7 segments in one offensive round. If you are Carolina, can you potentially end this round out here to close it out to 3-0? They're working this overextension. Big gunfight battle between TJ and Hoop. TJ does get the better of him, but a more effective trades on a Surge still holding down the map.
And this is an important final 40 seconds here for Vancouver. You've got a couple of players that have put together close to streaks, in particular Abuza now on 5. You need to get him number 6. Big time. So he's going to make a play up towards mid, and there it is. Just wiggling around frontside mid tank, and Abuza starting to light things up, 19-11.
Only 20 seconds left. Carolina has lives remaining. There's simply not going to be enough time for them to even think about that A objective, but you also do not want to allow Surge to have a couple players going into this next round with a little bit of streaks. You do have 0-4 on 4 in a row. He's getting aggressive up through that water street. He's able to find his 4th. Can he make it 5? Is the spot the player, but time is running down. Carolina do not have any time to work out of their base, and 0-4 with the snap finds himself now on 5 in a row.
Yeah, for a second I thought he was going to get the immediate transfer over for number 6, but not going to happen. Regardless of that, Abuza gets cruise missile number 1. 0-4 in a position to possibly earn cruise missile number 2. Those are the tools you need to go back-to-back offenses.
And it has to start, I think. You just have to extend this time early on. Give yourself multiple opportunities at that A point. So if you're going to stack over towards B, the initial gunfights are a case to that. You can turn this game on its head. It's now with Abuza with that cruise on 7 in a row, trying to set up 0-4 for at least his 6. So we can have a second one. But you just got to work this B point early on as that first segment is coming in.
Yeah, and 0-4 is just going to play the pivot, man. He'll be the one to rotate late if there is action over towards this B zone. Not needed, at least not as of yet. First tick already gone. TJ up top at Treehouse. Throwing some defensive consideration in towards what Vancouver tries to do on top of the zone, but this is all about kill number 6, and how about it? 0-4 is able to earn the second cruise missile, and with that, those are good here for Surge.
And this is where you got to get aggressive. You have to transition over towards that A point. You can already see Abuza taking a lot of space in towards Cafe. He realizes you can't cross for free, so you want to try to play for a couple of those kills coming off the respawn. Unfortunately, he is going to get isolated, swarmed by the players on Carolina, but you still do have players roaming around their spawn and Noob.
And Vancouver's playing off each other so much better than we saw in the first 2 rounds. Now you've got Brezzy on 3, Hook on 2. Extra 60 seconds has been early added, and there may be a chance here for this double hit through the OE to work out. Abuza, I was about to say, nearly has a free angle on towards Fellow. Nate trying to follow behind this, but 0-4 finds success around the back, and here comes the Surge.
This might be an opportunity where you want to invest one of those cruise missiles, force them indoors, but they were ready for those engagements. Gwyn and TJ combined for 2. Now it's going to slow down the approach from Surge, and as well, Hoop does fall around again. So the last player alive is going to be Abuza, and the entire kill feed is all lit up in white. Carolina going to clean 4 dead, and now all their focus on the OE.
Oh, Brezzy loses a key 1v1 versus B. So again, that OE continues to be contested. TJ putting in pressure over towards the front, but this cruise missile should find some. It takes care of TJ, but Gwen's able to reset, still play over towards the bridge side, and I don't know if Vancouver are going to be fully aware of his reposition. They're looking for him over towards the A-bomb site. Now they know he's at bridge side, but 04 can really only do so much as Surge are stacked at Cafe looking to break through.
And the second cruise does get called in as well. Nothing able to connect on it, so ow. Everything that you had in your back pocket to potentially take this attacking round, you threw it all away. And that leads to 3 dead already. Hoop, the last player alive in towards Cafe. He's trying to make a play happen, but TJ catches the timing. And now if you're Surge with a minute left, no cruise missiles, and you have to work out of your base.
And 1v1 that goes the way of TJ, keeps this A streak completely contested and bottled up. 19 plays 15, 50 seconds on the clock. Surge resorting to playing as a full 4-man stack over towards the OE. Initial cross being watched by Beans. You've got Gwyn a little bit deeper. He's able to tally up the first kill, and now all of a sudden, you've got a pinch on the way from... I mean, this has just been such a quick response from Carolina finding the kills on this pinch.
And this is probably going to be their last opportunity, and they need a couple kills to make it even possible. Booz is at least able to find that trade on the fellow. 04 off the respawn is able to catch a second. But this is where you continuously have to be aggressive. The kills have to go your way. Booz so can he find this second? That would have been massive, but Gwyn with the team kill doesn't matter. Still shoots straight, takes that 04 as well.
Has to be Brezzy, and well, he's been dealt with by TJ. 10 seconds on the clock. Surge have to sprint. Gwyn holding over towards the A-bomb site. Is able to tally at least some information that there are players across the middle, and that will do it. What a map from the Carolina Royal Ravens. 3-1 the count, and then take the edge of the series.
That is unreal right there out of Carolina. Both of the SMGs who pulled off that third and fourth AR really set the tone. TJ, multiple double kills around the map, but Gwyn just playing so damn annoying around that Cafe area. He earns himself the cruise missile, doesn't really even need to invest it for the game to have any difference. Carolina was just slaying, dominating with that map control. Seattle Surge, especially in that round number 1, looked a little out sync. Like it was just 2 players for kills, thinking that we were going to get the trade. That was the turning point of the game. The fact that Gwyn made that play happen.
I think it's just an extension of what we were talking about map number 1. Just this is Exhibit B. You know, Carolina are just playing off because they're so darn well. It's not allowing Vancouver to get the setup on, whether that be on the break attempts from the opening hard point on 6-star, or even here, whether it be on defense or offense. They're just not able to control the map the way that they maybe used to. I know it's kind of a weird phrase to say, but it does feel like Carolina's controlling every bit of these maps in respawn.
It's because if you think about the way that Surge love to play in their respawns, they like tremendous pacing. And right now, when you're walking into the preams of these players, these guys are sitting in certain corners. It's catching you off guard in these moments, and then you're losing those trade spikes. Those first initial pushes are getting shut down, and you're forced to hit the reset. Then you start to panic. I thought right there in that final round, it was a little bit of panic mode.
Yeah,
because you have 2 cruise missiles coming in, 2 players coming off a respawn. They're all the way at Palace. They're not going to be in the play, even if you find a kill. Just right now, Surge seems to be out of sync, and Carolina are taking full advantage of it. Now up 2-1 into the series, have the opportunity to send them home packing if they can walk away with this Rio coming up.
I will say, just to kind of throw another instance of, you know, exemplifying what we're talking about here, Beans, I think, finished 10 and 22, but he had second highest damage on his squad. So again, they're playing off each other beautifully. Even if Beans isn't finishing off the kill, someone else is turning into 2, 3 in a row almost every single time. So, again, it just feels like this Ravens team, I don't know if it's just instant chemistry or if they've been able to work out some of the stuff with Beans in the mix, but regardless of it, it's working.
We talk about the honeymoon stage, man. It's always a thing in Call of Duty. When you bring in a fresh player who's ready to rock, who's ready to go out there and showcase his abilities, you know, he's not putting up the best performance. When you talk about the statistic, he did it in map number 1. So you know the guy can shoot straight, but he's putting down the damage, setting up his teammates for these freebie kills. And they're just completely outclassing Surge right now in that teamwork aspect so far into this series. But now it gets a little bit scary for Carolina, because Rio on the season has not treated them well. Sure, 3-10 overall record. You're going up against a very fast-paced Surge roster who love themselves some tight SMG maps.
I just don't know if you care right now for Carolina what the history was, because what's happening right now here in the present has been a present. It's been a bit of a game to see this Ravens team play as well as they do. But you're absolutely right. In terms of how you bring this series back, if you're Vancouver, you go, all right, let's get to work. Let's throw away the mindset that we just carried in that last map, and let's just absolutely take over early here in this Rio hard.
Yeah, the adjustment that you need to make if you are Carolina, because they are one of the more middle-of-the-pack teams. So you talk about that rotation, break percentage as well around the middle of the pack, but their hold percentage is very tough, especially when you're going up against one of the top breaking teams that we have on the map in Surge. You know how fast they can play. They tend to not really think about that rotation because they're trying to just run around these kills, but at certain points of this game, you have to make sure that you're slowing the game down. There's money hills like the P3s and the P4s where you need to put yourself in a better position to start off with that initial time if you are certain.
And I think, you know, just to put a little bit of a spotlight on maybe one player in particular, I'm looking at Fellow here, you know, to kind of be the guy that can, okay, let's take a beat, let's get ourselves under a good rotation, lock down lanes, and actually win fights. Because let's be candid, there have been some hard points where we really haven't seen the Fellow that we kind of came to know in stage 4, whether that be on the online qualifiers or at the major itself. So see him, I think, really step up and make sure that Beans has some help here in terms of how the ARs start to move around the map.
Yeah, he did it in map number 1, even though he didn't put up as many kills as Beans or as many kills as Gwen. He was the player early off the rotation with about 20 to 25 seconds, thinking of how he can walk away with the W at the very end. But as we take a look at the head-to-head stats between map number 1, obviously Gwen and Beans really set the tone. 41 kills is insane, 2.14 KD. And then when you thought Beans was starting to pull away, Gwen comes alive. The rookie of the year, 1.48, almost 6 Ks damage between both of those players. You come out and play like that, this is over.
72 and 38 combined, bro.
It's nuts, man.
What if we, I mean, what? Stupid. Unreal things. So that's, again, the big problem here for Vancouver. You saw it kind of on the drive-by with our cam operators. What's on the line is not just elimination, but the possibilities of being crushed at the hand of the Royal Ravens. So let's jump on into the action, friends. Rio, Hardpoint, Vancouver, Carolina, fighting for their lives.
Jumping into the mix fest of this early P1 is going to be Carolina spawning on the preferred side to at least get a little bit of this time. And they are winning all the trade. Clean 4 dead right there from the Ravens, starting off on the right foot,
I'll say. And now all of a sudden you've got players like Fellow watching long crosses. You've got Beans also doing the same thing with an SMG. Does get caught by surprise. 04 slips the net. Opportunity for maybe a break attempt to come through as there are Surge members here amassing from the front. Gwen up top, trying to play off angles, but at least forces out a teammate to come through. Fellow on the cross, back into the mix, and as he does, he takes down Brezzy, and it's more time earned for Carolina.
And that's why if you are Surge, you find that initial kill through Bottomeskis. It's a 4v3 scenario. Let's just go up in there and try to play these trades, but when a team kill happens, it slows it down, and now Carolina advantage of it. Flawless here at this P1. Final 5 seconds to fight for. You can already see Fellow making those plays early off the rotation in a one-on-one engagement between him and 04.
He wins the first, but Hook comes to save the day for Vancouver, who will still spawn on the right side of the map. Trying to push the issue is Hook just a touch down. Brezzy going to take the cross now off boxes. But Vancouver very comfortable here inside P2 setup.
They have all their bases covered. You have Hook watching his deep pinch, but he is going to get some bad timing. But at the same time, TJ does put down a couple shots, but is able to get the better of it. Thankfully, you got the safety net in Brezzy holding down this box position. Realizing that his teammates are still going to be spawning at least close to the hill, but now the spawn's flipped. Brezzy falls. You're going to be spawning all the way across the map, and Carolina instantly here for the break.
Really good stuff from 04. Oh, my. I mean, we're talking half HP being hit from all angles, and 04 starts to light things up. 4 in a row. Carolina still spawning in the back. Not what you want right here as you look towards the transition from 2 to 3.
Yeah, this is the rookie that I'm definitely looking to try to take over here on a map like Rio. He loves to roam with that rival 9 in hand. He gives his team an opportunity to still try to contest this towards the very end, and they win the rotation over towards New. So now Surge in the drive. Carolina spawning all the way across the map. It's going to take a little bit of time before they can even contest it.
Oop, mid-map. Yeah, really well done. Shuts down the cross through mid. Spawns are still good for 04 as Vancouver. Once again, comfortable in their opening setup. Next hit for Carolina could be split. 2 through street side, and others just looking for an entry to get around the back of this play.
Yeah, we're challenging 1 by 1. Both the ARs fall over towards bridge side, so that's already your first bases covered. Now you just got to worry about this overextension. TJ has potentially found the angle, but you're not going to get caught slipping when you're getting every single player on the left side of your mini-map. You have also pressure in towards top mid, but and Gwen, they combine for 3. The spawns are still going to be here for Surge, but Carolina are in.
Yeah, this is, again, awareness from Surge spawning on that top left side of the map. They know that there's going to be a hit over towards the bottom. 15 seconds to fight for. Beans, Carolina still fighting from inside the hill, and TJ has the last word. Now it's just down to this rotation. The spawns once again. Hook will be the one kind of going, I won't say rogue, but he's trying to make a solo play happen on an island. He will slow down this rotation to touch for Carolina.
He wins the 1-on-1 on the back, and now you have to focus on the back end, and Hook is able to get the better of Fellow as well. So what looked to be like Carolina, we're going to win the rotation over towards New. An instant break. Now Surge take the lead by a little bit. They realize where the pressure is coming in. 04 going to challenge over towards the hot dog stand. Cannot be successful in those gunfights. And now to 2v4, you got to ice up.
Problem is, you've got success for Surge inside the hill, and the spawns are going to flip this baby an opportunity for Brezzy to help out over to the ramp side. But Carolina went out the hill. Now it's just down to taking care of Prezi, who's trying to predict the top corner, but that's not where it is. Let's make a difference. 04 is there with them, and then re-break comes through immediately for Vancouver.
There's still a lot of time here to fight for. Good chunk of time, 25 seconds to go. And it's still Surge holding on for now, but TJ trying to make something happen, and Gwyn through box, turn it into a 1v1, and 04 with the rival 9 is able to secure the final remaining chunk time. Now you're going to force Carolina early off that rotation over towards New, where they got to make up this game clock.
And this is a moment like you're talking about in the pre-map setup where Carolina are taking a moment. Don't let this temp take control of you. Get yourself a decent setup. Team kill gets forced, but still, Vancouver through the middle of the map, finding success, and that route from 04 is masterclass. 5 in a row, looking for kill number 6, and they have full awareness that Carolina are spawning backside P3.
Just way too fast right now around the map for Carolina. You hear that? It's the pace of slow it down. And right now with 04 sitting on 5 in a row, the rest of the team still holding it down. Carolina trying to close the series out and forward, a potential comeback. Let's step aside and go to listening with Carolina.
I'll get the wait. And you on me? Oh, drift on. And one's our bridge there still, and one in you.
Drift on, guys.
I need a time, hold on.
What? 2 time, 1 3 week. Go to bridge stairs, 2 bridge.
One top mid, 04. 04 top mid. Bridge stairs. 04 top mid. Nice, good job. One bridge stairs.
I'm taking a peek, bro. Okay, stop starting.
Work for mid with me.
Oh. Chow together, bro. Wait.
I'm stunning our top SCs.
I'm waiting on the right here. Wait on the right here.
Or he went boxes. Boxes. 04. He's in boxes in the corner.
They put me.
Yeah, same boxes. I'm gonna play bridge with you, Isaiah.
Boxes, bro. I'm not playing. Bro, he's side run. 04.
One shot Esky Boozer.
Backside
bridge.
Top you.
Third.
I'll go running around.
Hugh.
I don't see you.
I'm gonna come side door.
Stop bridge says. He's a P2 on me, bro.
I'm dating soda.
Son. Well, you want to figure out where the tempo and the timing start to kind of go awry for Carolina. Every time they try to put together a break, they're losing track of the pinch. I mean, legitimately, the G's for Vancouver are just running in from the side and finding multi-kill after multi-kill.
And this is the same issue that they had versus Optic Gaming yesterday. Losing track of those SMGs is causing them problems. You can already see Bean saying, okay, guys, we got to chow together. But every time they're going for a chow, a pinch is coming in. Vancouver are swinging. They do not want to go home here. They're going to be able to breach that 200 point mark, and they're still not slowing down. Final 10 seconds there at P1, but finally Carolina, with those kills in the feed, are going to have an opportunity to properly set up at this P2.
Need to find a first opener here if you're Carolina. Good route being hit, but even still fell that gunfight off screen versus Prezi. He would have had first shots in. Christmas gets called, and now the surge from the front are finding success. Prezi, pistol out, not going to win the initial, but the damage is easy enough to allow Booza to get a trade, and the hold will be tested here for Carolina respawning in.
And Carolina still in, and that cruise missile coming in. So securing those back spawns. But here comes the pinch again from one of the SMG players, this time with the MCW.
Unreal.
Catches the timing, finds the first, finds the second. Able to at least make it a little bit easier for a potential break for his teammates from that front side. It's going to be fellow last player, last balls, and it's already job well done. Trying to keep him as much as you possibly can off of this hard point, because you already have the spawns for that new hard point.
Every pinch has been a double kill at least for the side of Vancouver. That one may have been just a window of timing, but here's Hook again. Guess where? On the pinch. That's now some very crucial scrap for Vancouver to just very comfortably put the map away here with their setup on P3.
I feel like this has been the story of the Ravens throughout the entire season. When they're playing against SMGs who are playing like this, they used to tend to not find a lot of success. As Surge are looking to close out the game here, potentially at this P3 again. A route being hit out of 04. His teammates are waiting around this box's area. Brezzy effective on the trade, but 04 catches the timing.
There's one. A fellow stuck in the corner. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It's legitimately flank has been the key to success for the sides of Vancouver Surge. Carolina will get above the 100-point threshold, but now you've got Brezzy playing over towards Zeski's unguarded. He's able to find an opener. Now the SMGs can fly. I mean, it is rinse, wash, repeat. Maybe they're more with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Oh, my God. And 04 is able to find a double with the wall. Fellow responds with 2 of his own, but now the spawns do flip. So Vancouver going to walk away with that final 10 seconds. They're already showing a lot of presence over towards this new hard point, and they have boxes in control. Carolina, they need to break, and they need it quick.
It's legitimately the script has flipped from map number 1.
Yep.
This is how Carolina refines on 6-star, and it's surprising to see it just immediately come back to bite them on a map like Rio. Cruise missile called in will be the nail in the coffin here for map number 4, as no one for the Ravens will get here in time, and we will see all 5 maps between Vancouver and Carolina in the series.
Fantastic way to start the Vancouver come out swinging. They keep their tournament hopes alive, and at least are able to force the game 5. But that was dominant, man. That was dominant. When we jumped to a listen, you can just tell that Carolina seemed a little flustered. Being just sitting there, all right, guys, let's group up. Let's go for team trials. Okay, where's 04? He was boxes. Now he's all the way at Eskies. Now he's all the way at Bridge. Yep. Just losing track of players has always been an issue for this Carolina roster when you talk about the hard points. And Surge forced game 5.
And I think the thing, too, on top of this, for the side of the Vancouver Surge, is when they get the rotation win, AR watches left, AR is right, and then it's just a passing of the baton between the SMGs of, I'm going to help support this side, you go hit a flank if you're Hook, oh, never mind, now I got to do that, and all of a sudden 04 hits the opposite side. It's just the timing of when they know they have numbers advantages, it's like they're opting to take 3v4s on the hill, and then up the map wherever they see the opportunity to do so.
That's beautifully played right there to Vancouver. Disregarding the player who's trying to hold down an angle to open up for that first kill, realizing where all the pressure's coming in and playing their man-up advantages to perfection. Obviously, it was a slow map right there from Carolina, especially out of the ARs. Just, you can never get anything going. You're coming off the respawn, Felony was getting taken down by cruise missiles. You're coming off the respawn, you're instantly getting shot in the back by Hugo 04 and then popping a double. So they're always putting themselves in these man advantage moments, especially on these SMG maps. They were happy as hell to see Rio get through that map number 4 as an invasion between both of these squads to stand to see who gets top 4.
What are you thinking about that map coming up here? Invasion Surge map 5.
Well, Vancouver, so far in the season, are what? 7-0 in Search and Destroy versus Carolina?
Yep.
I know Talafello, he's a phenomenal Search and Destroy player. Beans as well. Gwyn does have moments. But if you are TJ, you have the opportunity now to right the wrongs of that bad cruise missile in map number 2. But the battle of the First Blood was the story. It might be it as well on Invasion.
Very well could be the case. Just kind of looking at the history, 10-6 overall in the season are Vancouver on the map. 7-5 though for Carolina. One of their better Search and Destroy maps. Now, again, the stats aren't going to maybe mean as much. The only other impacting thing, and I was thinking you were going to go to this, was the fact that smoke grenades will be available here on this map number 5. So I think there's going to be a lot more focus about how these SMGs work with the extra utility, I think in particular around the mid-tank.
Mid-tank is everything on a map like Invasion, especially on the defensive side. You take mid-tank control, you're able to freely work that bomb plan over towards A, and then that's basically GG on the round. And for these SMGs who love to get aggressive O2 broken, I'm talking about the Gwyns, I'm talking about the O4s. You invest in that smoke grenade early on at B Street, giving them any information on how many players on that side of the map, slowing down that attacking approach is probably going to be the recipe for success here for Evil Squad.
Okay. Should be interesting, I think, just as this being the battleground in particular, let alone the history that lingers between these two squads in Search and Destroy in particular, let alone on a map like Invasion, as we already a lot throughout the weekend. This is the only map that the teams are playing with it due to the live patch being the smokes are strong.
Yeah, and big, massive.
They're absolutely massive. So Carolina's going to try to talk it over just a touch, and I think the extra life in Beans brings a lot to the table. So we'll see if that can stay composed as we head into, again, no double elimination. It is do or die time here at map number 4 in Invasion Surge when we come back on the backside of the break.
I'm not gonna lie, but how this is gonna go, it's a possibility that Carolina is gonna probably get put out unless they find a way. But we'll see. right.
Welcome back to our opening quarterfinal matchup. Vancouver taking on Carolina. Map 5, Jay. Lots on the line. This is one of our final events from Modern Warfare 3, but there's more than just the prestige based on this particular matchup.
We're going into a Game 5 search and destroy where a bunch of these players have to play an S&D wager. They play for like $50, $100, but imagine playing an S&D map for $80,000 difference. So you best believe the pressure is going to be on. This is the head-to-head matchup that we have between TJ and Abuza. TJ obviously led when you talk about those opening dual win percentage, but he fumbled towards the very end of the game. And Abuza with that AR in hand, he's always going to put himself in a position to either find that first one or at least find that contested trade.
Should be a really fun one. I think in particular to see how often those two find each other on the map. And that's the motto of the entire event. Absolutely nothing. Granted, everything would have to be earned. $80,000 for one map of Search and Destroy. Potentially 11 rounds to finish off your year for Modern Warfare 3.
That's insane, man. And it's on a map like Invasion where you know that the game tends to slow down a lot. Attacks are very difficult because you have to play for the information that you're able to gain early on how the defensive setup is looking like. But it might just come down to the calculated risk. Who is able to outduel the other? 0-4 between Gwyn is the matchup that I'm looking forward to watching.
Should be a fun one. 11 more rounds potentially of action for 1-2 squads before their year comes to an end. Lots of money on the line, but of course, the opportunity to keep your tournament going and really have a chance to find yourself a payday. Stakes don't get much higher than this, friends. Let's jump on in. Map number 5, Vancouver and Carolina for the search. Let's get it on.
And then early on, it's going to be the Surge on the attacking side. What do Carolina look on their defensive setup? It's looking like a double stack over towards B. Yeah, players like Fellow watching mid-courtyard. They tried to get early info, but now they're just playing a split map setup to get early in.
Very passive. And you can see this is kind of a response tactic for the Carolina. Not having trophies, you just don't want to get naded out of that tank position. So you've got number 7 and Beans watching the cross through mid. You have a really passive angle for Fellow. And then on top of the bomb, Gwyn is just watching to see if anyone challenges over through Dark Alley. This is a very passive.
Yeah, keep in mind, Carolina have basically not used any of their attacks yet. So they're waiting for the push to come in over towards B. The smoke grenade gets invested, but look at how aggressive who gets through it. Not able to find that kill, gonna throw the nade. He finds the first blood.
Trying to get out, not gonna be allowed to. TJ finds the kill. Watch the quick pinch though. Gwyn is in dark. 0-4 gives away his position. Good shots from TJ, but 4 HP left. Now Gwyn trying to make his move, but he gets seen from Abuza, who's watching the pinch the entire time. Quick action. Now the defensive smoke comes through. Do they get a chance to flip this all the way back around? Is there enough time? Brezzy's stuck into a corner. Somehow still up. Vancouver to come back to him.
And he's the bomb carrier, so you got to try to keep him alive as long as you possibly can. TJ in a very crucial spot if he can find this kill, but Brezzy gets the better of him. 10 seconds to go. You got to plant.
And Fellow, I think he knows that that's the bomb carrier, but it does get picked up. The reset on the angle. And that's enough for Abuza to get the plant. Fellow coming quickly. The exit from happening, but does he know where the last player is? No, he doesn't. Fellow caught by surprise, but has a chance to turn and almost does with the pistol. Ooh, that would have been a tone setter, but instead it's Vancouver who get the opening attack.
The fact that 0-4 was still alive at the end of that round, keep in mind when he got back over towards that Cage's area, he only has 4 HP and a dream. He's able to stay alive, keep his team at a man advantage. Felony turns it into a one-on-one, but just simply reads the play wrong, thinking that he walked his way in towards Ice Cream, but 0-4 was playing the tractor. It got serious in that final engagement, but 0-4 gets the better of him. But it all starts off with Hook being the nuke, walking through a smoke grenade to strike first.
And I love that tempo and aggression for Vancouver, getting a read that they can get a deep smoke down. That just puts Carolina's defense out of commission. So a good first blood tally leads to a success, although it did come in dramatic form. Now we get Carolina's first attempt. TJ, bomb carrier and smoke player. How does he choose to run this one up? Keep in mind, rival 9 in hand here, so there very well may be some aggression being shown, especially with Gwyn getting all the way over towards Cage.
Yeah, they're already showing a lot of presence over towards B, so how do they handle this situation? It's both the SMGs ready to strike through mid-dark. You have Beans all the way across the map, slaying for that deep pinch, but TJ strikes for that first blood. Now you can start to work that objective, but he doesn't see the door be cracked.
Or maybe he did, and just allowed him to stay there. Shuts the door back onto his face. Abuza will find the trade, though. So this would be a 1v3 now turned into a 1v2. Bomb is down, and there is a little bit of space for Abuza to play with, just 33 seconds on the clock.
Right now, Carolina are just waiting it out, trying to get an early read on what he is doing, but Abuza cracks the door, thinking that the bomb is definitely going to get planted. Give positioning, and then that forces the repositioning out of Beans. So the bomb is going to go down. Beans is putting down cover fire.
And he knows where both players are now, but those tags do not really allow Booza to confirm that fellow had moved either back towards Cage or up towards Tractor. Beans still the first one to watch this cross. Booza trying to find some ground to work with, looking for isolation, can't make contact with anybody. Just shoulders being thrown for Carolina, and that's a really good response for the Ravens.
Starts off with that first blood, man. It was the answer in that search and destroy of the game number 2. Seattle were more successful in that category, so they walked away victorious, but it was a first blood in round number 1 for Vancouver. They take it. This time it's Carolina. They respond. Tied up at 1.
Good, I'd say just good dissections of the B site for both these attacks. Definitely something to keep in the back of our mind here. We are hearing, though, that the lobby, I think you guys all saw, a little bit of frame action going on. Will have us resetting here. So 1-1 the count. Any other takeaways in those first 2 rounds for you, Jay, kind of evaluating what might happen coming forward?
It was Gwyn. You remember that first round where Gwyn decides to time his flank, and unfortunately runs into 3 players from the Seattle Surge. They were prepared for that gunfight. Just those calculated risks that we talked about before the map started. They had to try to go your way. You have to realize that in these moments, the pressure is going to be very, very high. Those little mistakes you cannot afford to have. Battle of the first bloods is always a big thing. But so far, both teams are playing really soft and that B setup. So you might want to change that one up, put someone aggressively in towards broken.
I think you can understand it for Carolina side. No trophies. You just want to make sure you're not getting naded out. But I think you're right in terms of the follow-up decision-making. Instead of trying to pinch through dark, maybe now you have to go all the way around DVD. You stay safe on that defensive retake opportunity because Abuza was locking it down the whole way through.
Yeah, and it's the same way in the opposing side for Beans. Because
sure,
players attacking over towards B. You have 2 island players watching that deep pinch. Just depends on if you could find the timing or the angles to work your way around behind enemy lines. Potentially open up for that first kill, but now we're going to hit that reset where trophy systems, again, not going to be on either side. Carolina going back to the defensive end, where I'm expecting them to invest in smoke grenade to take more ground away from them. Let's make these rounds on the attacking side for those teams stall out a lot longer.
That's fair. Otherwise, if you're not going to play aggressive over towards B Street, maybe you need to commit instead of Beans wrapping back over. He's got to cut through with Gwyn. Oh, okay. So we're actually hearing from production right now that the issue in round number 2 will actually have us resetting with just a 1-0 count for the side of Vancouver. Ooh. So that second round will be replayed essentially.
Okay. All right. So you would take that if you are Surge without question. A 1v2 scenario, even if he wasn't lagging, most likely will lose that round due to the setup that Carolina had. But Seattle Surge are the team going up 1-0 off of this reset. Just want to make sure the game plan is ready to rock. Communication on point. He's trying to let everybody know of how they are playing on both ends so far. It's just about minimizing those little mistakes.
Sure. And I think it's not even want to necessarily use the word mistake. It's just decision making that you just get caught. You know, it's, you've got an idea and it just gets countered. I mean, that's just the chess game that we see right now. Hard to really kind of label and cement any particular phrase over how things have gone, considering we've only seen 2-ish rounds, not even a full, technically speaking. But I think you're right in terms of a lot of the focus for both these two teams being over towards the B side of the map.
Yeah.
We don't often see a lot of engagement early towards A from either side. I don't think defensively there's really anyone that stands out in terms of we expect this player to always play aggressive in the cafe for those crossing. At least none that come to mind. Maybe 04, depending on if he wants to use a rival line or an MCW on the defensive side of the map. But again, it's hard for us to sit there and say that here's a trend, here's a pattern that we need to watch out for yet.
And I think it's just early information that they're able to gain off of the crosses as well. You're jumping off of the attacking side, jumping through mid-tank to see if anyone's pushing up through mid-courtyard, or if they're trying to play around that mid-tank, and at the same time over towards B Street, realizing, okay, they didn't cross to the backside of bomb. There's no smoke grenade, no one crossing into broken. So we can take this side away from them, use that smoke grenade to put ourselves on towards the site, and then try to stay alive from all the attacks that are going to get invested, because the team so far has really thrown stuns or nades right off the rip.
That's a good point. And again, utility usage over through the middle of the map is going to be available again with us this restart coming out with no trophy systems being down. So we'll see what Carolina decides to do on what will technically be their second attempt offensively. But again, this is first offense based on how the score is going to work out.
But they might have a different game plan now, because this time they don't have any trophy systems to keep alive over towards that 8 points. So they're probably going to slow down this attacking round just a bit, play off the early information that they're able to gain. You just cannot allow for and Hoop to dominate around that mid-map area.
All right. Well, you can see it. Everyone leaning forward to touch. We're about to lock on in. Again, just as a repeat, due to the couple of issues in round number 2, it will still be a 1-0 round advantage right now for Vancouver. So Carolina's going to get an immediate second attempt at their first offense here as we jump on back into map number 5.
Bruh.
We're already loading into the game. Carolina.
Whoa.
Back on the attacking side, and Abuza all the way across the map. They find that first blood. They send 3 up through the water street. They take that side of the map away from them, and now Carolina are forced to commit over towards B.
This is a good gut check call, though. I think there's a call from the side of B saying that was more than one set of nades. So they're trying to get aggressive over towards the B side of the map, knowing that at worst they've got a 2v1 over here. They show pressure, but they don't commit to B. They're looking to see if they can catch the defense on a rotation around the back.
Well, the bomb was potentially going to get put down, but Abuza is watching that cross from a different angle. And Prezi is able to strike. Now you're going to set up Hoop on this deep pinch. It's a 2v4. Felony and Gwyn left to try to clutch on up.
Yeah, that was kind of a cross right there where we either wait on the backside of the play to see if we catch the defense crossing, or we get aggressive to bully out the sole defender at B. Neither really working out, at least not convincingly as of yet. Vancouver now pushing forward. They know exactly where the final member is, and that will be a quick round for the side of the Surge.
Yeah, and I thought Carolina were going to throw a different look right there.
I thought so too.
Same exact attack round that you did previously, and Beans was putting out shots over at that gas station area. So the communication from Surge is like, okay, they're probably going to throw the same look. If Bean challenges over towards the water street, everybody invest your nades for that first blood. And at the same time, you already had Hoop the Nuke pushing his way in towards Mannequin. TJ on the cross, and he knows he can't give up that flank for free. He's relying on his teammates to find a little bit of success over at that B site, but they find none. Vancouver up 2-0.
Yeah, impressive opening set of nades for the Surge, but of course, Prezi holding his life may have been the catalyst for that round coming through. So again, 2-0 now the count for Vancouver onto their second offensive effort, and they are heading in towards Cafe early here. Hook with an SMG in hand will be the one to kind of set the pace, set the tone, and see if they can open something up, as now you've got stuns and nades being tossed over a day.
Just to make sure no SMGs are going to be playing close, but he does get a hit marker with that nade. So I don't know if he's going to stop preparing for him to be close by, but it was able to connect onto Gwyn mid-courtyard. The smoke goes down. Hook's sitting at 83 HP. It's time for Gwyn to strike.
Broken system gets placed. Hook is able to stay alive with that. Vancouver worried about the backside of the flank, but there's not enough space for Hook to commit for a flank. They're looking to see if they on the cross, and they do catch Gwyn inside mid-park. That's enough for likely Hoop to try to go for the plant.
No, they still do not have mid-tank. They need mid-tank if they want to work this A objective. So you see the timing from Prezi, slowly working his way up through B Street, but 0-4 gets the better of TJ. Now Hoop's turn to find that third of the round. Bomb getting planted 1v4 now for Felony.
Yeah, they know where he's at. Shots are already landing, and that is a flawless round for Vancouver. I mean, a lot of it looked like the opening nades were not just enough for Vancouver to commit to 8, but I thought initially Carolina's defensive nades were going to be able to say, hey, we got tagged into the smoke, but instead they don't, and that's where it kind of falls apart.
Yeah, as soon as they decide to not push it to that smoke grenade, when the smoke dissipates, you can put yourself in an angle where Gwyn goes for that chow, thinking that the bomb is going to get planted and then get picked off early. But then that's what I love about Surge, especially in Search and Destroy on a map invasion. They're sitting at one of the bottom teams at when you're finding successful plants. They barely plant the bomb. They only plant the bomb when they know it's absolutely safe. And once they take that mid-tank control, it was GG's. 3-0 so far for Surge.
Gwyn getting aggressive, though, through Broken. Defense for Vancouver. Playing likely for maybe even that rewrap again. You can see what Carolina are doing, though. They're very aware of that possibility. Beans watching one side. Initially, Fellow was watching something a little bit tighter. But now the focus for Carolina is seeing if they can get Prezi out of position with these nades. I believe a stun lands, but it's not enough to dissuade Prezi from holding the angle.
And Hoop the time is giving the bombs, and thankfully you got a player like Prezi, who even though he falls here, taking down one is already job dealt, well done. But he's still staying alive. There's another gunfight right in front of him between him and Gwyn. Don't want to get this one for free, but Hoop catches timing onto Beans. Instant 4v2.
Just sees the barrel of the gun and is alerted toward more support for the former Wobabobs duo here on the B side as Abuza continues to lay down shots over towards the backside of Cage. Now 0-4 joins the party, and wow, these have been as perfect as it gets for Vancouver.
They are just gaining the info very early into these rounds.
Yeah.
When you're getting aggressive over towards Cafe, you're watching that initial cross over towards B. Then when you realize, like, okay, Beans got first blooded with that nade over the top side of that tank, he's not playing that positioning anymore. They have to be committing over towards this B site, and the fact that Prezi's able to get one, play his life to perfection, allows his teammates to work that deep pitch, find that second, trap them over towards that B side. This has been absolute perfection when you talk about the strategies that Surge are coming in with.
Hook just having a little bit of peripheral vision to see Beans down low is also one of those moments where if it goes the other way, maybe Carolina can continue to push on forward, but not the case. So now a lot of ground that has to be made up for Carolina. Not just finding rounds, not finding kills. It's just been everything turning up in favor of Surge, who have taken a bit of a pause here, trying to play a little bit slower, seeing if, again, they can find the early info on where the Carolina Royal Ravens are set up.
I'm pretty sure Brezzy was able to spot a couple players cross over towards Bro. Not trying to attack this side of the map for free, but at the same time, Abuza taking space over on the opposite side of the map. Finds that first one.
Oh my God.
Is able to set up the snap for the second. Another 1v4, this time to CJ.
That is borderline greedy,
Carolina's
but it doesn't
done.
make a difference when you're snapped that.
Carolina's
Oh,
done.
mercy. 5-0 up our Vancouver. And wow, you can see just the faces fall for Carolina.
They're just completely countering them every single time. They said, okay, 2 people cross over towards B, so you're not as strong around that middle of the map. And if you're not that strong around the middle of the map, someone is picking an angle. They're barely putting focus over towards Water Street. Abuza is able to find that timing for the first blood, also finds the second. And then the last 2 players remaining in towards Broken simply stand no chance. Abuza taking the ground away. Beautiful shots onto Gwen. That's now, what, 5? What are they at? 5-0? Yeah, game point now for Surge.
And 04 is on 5 in a row. So, I mean, this is one of those rounds where Carolina, you may just say, well, we just got to do something. Just get some kills. Try to find a way to create some momentum here. Opening trade does come through. But go from here. And the defensive setup is still very comfortable for Vancouver.
Yeah, they wanted to switch it up this time around because every single round, Vancouver have been able to take that cafe control away from them, so they don't have an opportunity to rotate back over towards A. And now they're showing presence on this side of the map. You already know that Brezzy loves to play man at that B point. Oh, Beans is able to get the better of one all the way across the map. Now you're going to start to work this way.
Oh, little jump up 04 at least catches the noggin of one player trying to play through this mid-tank contest. But he's got to worry about the bomb as well. And there's kill number 6. Does he get out? Oh, he nearly cuts back into the closet. Not to happen. President, the trade shots are out, but cannot fully connect for the kill. Time becoming an issue here, though. And Brezzy, he tries to predict the rotation back. And now it's just down to does he get the check. Opening shots are decent, but the kill is through, and Carolina get there first.
Yeah, way to switch up on the attack. This time, not show a lot of presence over towards B. Trade effectively in towards Cafe. Give yourself opportunities at either side if you wanted to commit to it. And then once Beans is able to take down Abuza on the backside of that courtyard, you put yourself in the man advantage. You take control of that mid-tank area, even though you allowed 04 to get that. And now in the back of your mind, he has a cruise missile to work with. Yep. So Surge still at game point, have everything in front of him.
You just pop it right now? Take this thing home?
Yes. I would pop it instantly over towards that B side, force them to be aggressive over through Cafe, have like 2 players watching a pinch, and just work that plant instantly.
Well, see what Carolina are doing here. Quick focus over towards Dark Alley, in towards Broken for a lot of this B defense, predicting that there's going to be some sort of a call-in for the Crews to be played. And here it comes. 04 playing inside of this back bus stop position. Speeds up the Crews, crosses it backside ice cream. Doesn't find any connect, but that should be some mid-map control. Question marks, though, here as Carolina are able to essentially reset.
And they didn't want to contest them in towards Cafe. They realized that there was at least 2 players around that area. You don't want to put yourself in those engagements. You realize where all of them are, but this time it's an opportunity to try to take over towards the Water Street. Positioning now known. Got to invest in smoke to get out.
Lots of Water Street control coming through. Gwyn trying to work on that. Oh, the timing here is beautiful for Gwyn. Could he take this to more than one, though? The pre-fire decent, but 04 with the trade. Slide through for Fellow. And now all of a sudden, Fellow's on 3 in a row. Almost the better of Hugh, who now has to work his way through the remaining parts of this 1v3. Nade over towards mid-tank. Clears the space, and he's going to get the post plant.
Bomb is going to go down. Can Beans at least spot him on the eggs or at least put him weak so his team isn't going for. But Hook's able to at least play his life for now. Spot him if you are a TJ, but Hook the Nuke is going to go for the chow, and TJ makes him pay for it. So Carolina Royal Ravens, 2 rounds in a row. They withstand that cruise missile coming in. They're keeping their hopes and dreams alive.
Well, interesting to see Surge not try to overwhelm the tank after they got Water Street control right there. Like you had called, I mean, it was a crossfire setup to see if anyone out of Cafe was going to try to make something happen, but that doesn't actually occur. And maybe you could discredit the fact that, hey, 04 is seen on that rewrap over towards backside water bridge, but it did feel a little bit odd that they didn't just hold the tank and go for post plant.
Yeah, and keep in mind, it's also 04 with that smoke grenade in hand. He has to invest it not on the site, but for him to simply stay alive over towards Water Street. Would have really loved that smoke grenade if you were going to work that objective, but Carolina able to stay alive. Now back to the attacking side again. They just not allow Hoop to take this map away from him.
Does that stun land? Yeah, sure does. TJ trying to push it forward. 1-for-1 the exchange. Big pistol battle. And how about the help from Beans? Okay. Carolina starting to show us some initiative here as they out-trade the opening fight and find themselves into a 3v2.
Now in the man advantage, player in Fellow, who's putting himself in position to watch this overextension, but he gives the comms to his teammates. He spots no one cross over towards B, but Brezzy in a very crucial spot.
Does he hear anything? Does he see anything? Hard to say as he now backs up and the shadow's been seen. Beans will get fallen. It's 2v2. Abuza not far off. Bomb making its way very aggressively and very quickly in towards the B site. This is looking like it'll be a 2v2 post plant.
Keep in mind, Brezzy still has a nade to work with, so does Carolina have any trophy systems to keep him alive in this two-man setup? The go-to, the 2v2. One over towards the cages, one over towards the tractor. Right now, Vancouver, they're splitting up.
Surge taking their time, clearing out the angles. And now it's going to be about how they break through. Like you mentioned, a very standard setup. Nate comes out. Abuza finds the first. Nice trade from Fellow. Still staying alive and dancing. 15 seconds on the clock. Abuza up top. Fellow trying to fight him off. Pistol out for Abuza! And he's able to take the win. Catching Fellow off guard. Plenty of time for the defuse. And what has been the staple for the entire year continues to be the success point for Vancouver. Flawless against Carolina and the Surge.
8-0 in Search and Destroy. They showed up with a better game plan in that map number 5. It just took Carolina a little too late to make those mid-game adjustments, to not give up all the map control towards the very end of that game. But Brezzy, he played phenomenal that final round. The fact that he realizes, okay, they haven't worked the plan over towards A. I'm going to sit nice and tight in towards the DVD. Hopefully the timing goes my way. He turns it into a 2v2. Now the bomb gets planted. He wraps his way all the way to the backside of the spawn. And even though he doesn't find the kill, he sets up Abuza 3B. And then in the 1v1, Abuza runs out of ammo with that FCW. Fellow was not ready for the aggression, and Abuza gets it done in a game number 5 to move on the top 4.
And after the reset, 9 kills for 04. It's been a story of his come up as a Search and Destroy monster. And that comes through once again. 7-3 for Abuza since the reset as well. So really good stuff coming not just on your front, but also on the young superstar that we expect to see pop off in Search and Destroy for the Surge.
They just played super confident on the side of Surge, and on the opposing side, it looked like Carolina were very, very scared.
Yeah.
You were always going to the basic setup on your attacking side, having Beans initially start off on Water Street. Once he gets stated, now everyone's committing on that right side of the map. And Surge completely blind counter you every single time, watching their crosses, taking advantage of the map that you don't have control of, and just their teamwork and everything to perfection to close this one out.
Clean stuff. And how about the Vancouver Surge now in the top 4 position, extending to at least tomorrow? Should be a really fun battle to see who they get up against in that semifinal matchup. But down on the stage, we've got final post-game reactions with Hook and the Vancouver Surge as they make it into the top 4 position.
Vancouver Surge continue that victory streak right here on the main stage. What an impressive performance. I've got Abuza with me. Abuza, I've got to say, that hard point, we can skip past that opening hard point. It was a bit of a rude awakening on the main stage, I must say, but you guys turned it around. The S&Ds, they were just, guys put on a clinic. So is that something you guys have particularly been focusing leading up to this competition?
I honestly think like we are like a good S&D team. We just start the match like slowly, to be honest. Like the first map was like weird for us. We have some good S&D, so we know like we need one respawn and that's it, you know, like.
But we did talk about the hard point of opening, but then you guys managed to turn it around on that Rio hard point. Again, you guys just pinching, flanking, it was just everything was working. What were the comms like in that moment?
It was insane, to be honest. Like everyone was doing like some crazy shit, so everything was good.
Well, like we always say right here on the main stage, this fun bit, it's time to claim your opponent's key so that you guys can crush it. So if I can get Fellow to come on over here, shake hands if you want to, but you can hand over that key. You are now in the semi-finals tomorrow.
do with this?
What are you supposed to do with that right now? Enjoy it. Feel it. I mean, how it's pretty cool, right?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
It does look good indeed. Now, it kind of feels a bit more personal now. This is kind of the fun bit, isn't it?
Yeah, it was personal for me. Like, there is someone on this team like get the Rookie of the Year, and I still don't know how, but that's it. That's fine. I don't care.
Abuza, congratulations. One more time, everyone hear it. But the team that just took the victory, it is, of course, Vancouver Surge. He's disappeared into the backdrop, so for now, we're going to go back to the desk to continue the day.
The spice in Call of Duty never ends, and you just heard it from Abuza. He thought that the Year award, he deserved it, not Quinn. Got a chance to prove it here in Riyadh, and you talked about it, Nameless. He mentioned he's uncomfortable in interviews. Abuza's doing everything right today.
Yeah, he just rocked it, man, especially in that game 4 as well with his gameplay and then getting to enjoy that victory. And, you know, talking about the year thing, I voted for Abuza. I thought he should have been it throughout the year. Incredible performance and proving it right there on that stage.
Two very talented young gamers, and they went toe-to-toe. And this, Ali, I felt like I was watching a heavyweight fight. Each team haymakering the other. The games were not close, but the match sure was. It went all that game 5.
Yeah, I went all the way to game 5. I want to say Search and Destroys were weirdly closer than maybe the scoreline shows you, simply because in that map number 2, Vancouver Surge took a handed lead early on that high rise, but Carolina started playing, grabbing those first bloods, playing for the aggressive play Vancouver Surge and Hook were trying to make, and crawled their way back in. It was just an unfortunate team streak that trades a couple first bloods and puts them in this situation.
Nameless, what was the difference in the hard points? Because you open it up with 70 kills between Beans and Gwyn combined in map 1. Then in map 4, tied around 70 points, and then it's all Surge in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, you heard Abuza talk about it in the interview a little bit. We just have slow starts, and that's exactly what happened on that map number 1. We get to the Rio in the game 4, and 04 got active. I mean, he was everywhere. 29 kills, dropping a ton of damage. Abuza right there next to him, and it was off the rip, man. The response there on that P2, once they got a couple kills in a row and they could set in and get comfortable, it was over.
And that's so incredible you bring up 04, because in that map number 1, he went 14 and 30. Not a stat line we're used to seeing from this guy. So
numbers.
Post that, he started to pick it up in that Search and Destroy and making huge plays in that game 5.
Seattle Surge, they found their momentum late in this series, and they walk away with the W. They also earn our Bravia MVP. Who is it going to be in my triangle this time? Is it 04? No, it's Abuza, the man who just took the interview and was handed the key. Let's take a look at some of his best plays. This, our Bravia MVP, showing off his excellence.
Yeah, he also closes out the game 5, right? With the big kill at the very end. Yeah, Abuza's a special player, man. Like I said, I believe was the Rookie of the Year. He had a role swap in the middle of this year. Once he got put back on that AR, it's been lights out since. And he's got some good SMGs around him as well, and who can afford to set him up for success. But yeah, the guy's shot's insane. As you can see in some of these clips, he just simply knows this.
And Abuza, again, my favorite thing about him was he was the most consistent player on the team throughout the entirety of the year. There were times I forgot he was a rookie because of the plays that he was making. I also want to tip Rezi in this series. He made a lot of huge plays in that game 5, specifically the one that closed it out when it seemed like Carolina Royal Ravens were trying our way back in. He said, I'm going to play patient. I'm going to sit in DVD. I have this on cue. I'm going to get this first blood and set up my teammate for success to close this out.
Huge props also to Coach Rambo Ray. He's got 2 French speakers, an upcoming rookie in 04 who showcased his skills, and of course, a world champion from back in the Empire days in Hook.
Yeah, and Hook was vibing up there on that stage, man. His dad's here. He wants to perform in front of him, and you see Hook making some great plays. And, you know, this roster, man, they play at such a fast pace, and you could see Abuza with all those engagements throughout the series so much. It's the perfect complement to fast players like 04 and Hook.
Huge finish with a 1.6 when it came to the S&D, including the final kill to send Carolina packing. It's time to take a look, though, and find out. You guys both called Vancouver Surge, so let's take a look. Did also our STC play results are in, and 75%, 3 out of 4 of y'all are smart.
Yeah, they've been doing good so far this tournament.
They have been doing very good and consistently too, which is something we're not used to from Vancouver Surge.
After map 1, it was looking slow though.
Was looking a little slow. I was like, yo, is Beans that guy? Right. He seemed to be, and then Carolina just turned into Carolina at the end. Let's take a look at the bracket. Unfortunately for Carolina Royal Ravens, your year is done. but you walk away with some serious money, $80,000 from finishing in the top 8. You played your hearts out. You fell just short in the search. And now it's Vancouver, our first of the 8 to lock in a spot in our semifinals.
And there's some crazy paths in the way that this bracket can shake up here. 100 Thieves, they find oddly success against Toronto Ultra. If they're able to win that, we're going to have 100 Thieves or Surge in the final. Who knows? It can get wonky.
We still have 3 more matches. Toronto, 100 Thieves. Boston, the new retooled squad, bringing up the challenges.
I can't wait for that match. I know what question's coming up next. I want to see the Boston versus Atlanta.
And why? Why should everyone be excited for that one?
It's exciting because Boston hasn't found a lot of success, and they've overturned their roster. They build around Snoopy again, and it sounds like it's working out. If there's any time for them to find success, I'd love for it to be against.
Or like they just have 2 of the greatest players of all time, in Purge and Awakening. That might not be facts.
I don't know about that
or
one.
I believe
I don't know about the second person.
If there was a fantasy COD, round 1, Purge. Round 2, Giveaway.
Yeah, I have those flipped. Either way, I'm cool with it.
Nameless loves them. We love them, and they will be taking on the stage next, everybody. Big shout out to everyone waking up early over in the States. If you're in the UK, stay locked, because right after this, we got some of the greats. Boston taking on Atlanta FaZe. You don't want to miss it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Underrated, Overrated with Atlanta FaZe. We're going to choose a couple of these teams to see what their thoughts are about them. Optic Texas. Overrated or underrated?
I'll say
underrated.
I'll say underrated.
Really? Wait, why?
I'll say underrated because they won champs.
Okay.
I think they're the only team who's won 2 events so far.
Okay.
Winning Major 3, obviously Major 4, but winning champs, I think can't call them overrated anymore.
Yeah.
They won champs, they won the big one, and this year they're underrated now.
Wow. I was not expecting that answer from you. Cloud9.
I would say underrated. I think underrated again too. Yeah, I would say underrated.
Well, Zach's pulling some.
Uh-oh.
Okay, why are they overrated, Zach?
I think they're overrated. They won 1 event, but I think after winning champs, winning 2 events the last year, I feel like they placed well. They just had a really mid first half of the year, which you wouldn't expect coming from a team who just. And granted, they made a change coming into this year, but I think three majors having kind of mid placings and then winning major 4 and getting second chance, that's how they were supposed to be the whole year. So I think coming into this year, them winning 1 tournament, granted we have 1 more, I think for them they would think that they should more, especially coming off how dominant they were the last year. So for me, I would say overrated.
All right, you guys both are saying underrated. Why?
I would say just because of the way they finished the year. I feel like they definitely weren't playing good COD at the very beginning of the year, but I think the fact that they turned up at the end of the year when it mattered more, which they didn't win champs, so you can't really say they. Because I feel like what Zach said, it doesn't matter if you don't win, but they did win the event before, and they very well could have won champs. But I feel like them just turning up at the end of the season, that's why I would say underrated.
All right, now this is a spicy one. Underrated or overrated? Toronto Ultra.
Yeah, I would say, because I think going into this year when they made the roster change for Dylan, I was saying that it was going to be us and them, the top 2 teams the whole year. And I feel like they weren't considered a top 2 team this year. And that's why I would say they were overrated, because when that first event, but ever since then, there's been no consistency for them. I feel like it's kind of just been hit or miss. They haven't I feel like Major 3 was the only time where they had a chance to kind of find that consistency and win, and they got to the finals and they just didn't do anything. Yeah. So that's why I would have to say overrated.
I would say the same. I think Major 1, obviously, in the grand final they beat us, and I think at Major 1 they were the best team there. But I think after that it was inconsistent after that. So it was hard. It's hard to say they're I'm saying they're rated good. So.
Okay. Next team, guys. Underrated or overrated? Lore Gaming. That's Alex team.
I mean, it just kind of depends how you're seeing it. I would only say overrated because I don't think that they will be able to do that much. I don't think any of the amateur teams will do a lot this event, but I think as an amateur team, I think they're a really good amateur team. But I think coming into the league or coming into this tournament, I don't think they're going to be able to do as much as people think. I think the pro teams are going to show why they're pro teams. So I would just say for probably any of the amateur teams, they're probably a little overrated because I think people think they might come in here and show something. But I think the pro teams are going to get it done.
Underrated.
It's hard. I don't know. I'm because I don't really know much about the amateur teams. It's kind of I feel like we're gonna obviously see like at this event, but it's like hard for me to tell because I'm not like really hard focusing on challengers like going, you know, like throughout the season. So it's like hard for me to tell where they're at as players. You know what I'm saying? So I'm underrated because I mean we don't really know much, and I guess we'll see. Like I said.
Yeah, no, it's the same. I think for me, I'm not really sure who's like even on the team. I just know it's Alex.
It's Alex.
I just know it's Alex.
He's our champion alongside you guys.
I just know it's Alex on the team, but I don't know who. Like,
Two real Paul X. Sort of forgetting who they're for.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's the reason. So.
Okay. Okay, guys. Next up, the Stallions.
I don't know.
Used to be FaZe Black.
Oh, is that Ace?
Brack,
Ace. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll probably say underrated. I feel like that team
Yeah,
is the team to beat for these pro teams, the lower half at least. I feel like they're coming in with straight passion. They've been sitting here winning all these amateur tournaments, and they've been waiting for this moment. So I think it's their time to shine. And I think that this is going to mean a lot more to them than the pro team that they're going to play. So it's kind of their event to show these pro teams how good they actually are. So I think coming into this tournament, I think that they actually might make an upset. So I feel like they're probably underrated.
Yeah, I would say like they're like the team this year in the challengers to beat. I feel like everyone always talks about FaZe Black, you know what I mean? Like, because I feel like that's the top challenger team to be on to like make it into the league. So I feel like they have a lot of like potential at this event to like upset a team. I feel like they're all all the players on that team have been pretty much in the league.
Besides Dylan.
Yeah, besides Dylan. So I feel like they have more potential to upset a pro team than all the other amateur teams.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. I think like all of them are pros in the past besides Don, so I feel like it has it's gonna be a lot like easier for them to play on the main stage.
Yeah, those guys got a chip on their shoulder trying to make it back to the pro scene.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the table of underrated and overrated with Atlanta FaZe. Make sure you guys tune in for this weekend to see if their predictions are correct.
Six-time world champions Atlanta FaZe is going to be taking the stage soon, but first, we've got to crush another key as it's 0-4 given the honors to send the Carolina Royal Ravens packing.
We'll see you get that key, and you can see big man 0-4 standing there, crush that thing, man. They got to be feeling good. Top 4.
What I gotta think about is if 0-4 got another massage. No, he got one yesterday before their match. They fried, got one today, and they fried again. This guy's going to be 4 for 4.
Shout out to the staff here at EWC. They gave me a little bit of acupuncture yesterday, but
it's unreal
matchup. Let's talk about this one. Atlanta FaZe taking on Boston, and if you just watched that interview with FaZe, they're talking to study. We don't really expect a lot from the AMs. You look at Boston Breach. This is a team outside of Snoopy. Everyone got bounced down to challenges this year before coming back up for this event.
Yeah, and they played against Purge before as well because he was on the former Vegas Legion before dropping down challenges for who knows what reason. But I think the fun thing about this kind of matchup is it has an opportunity to give the underdog the win. Boston Breach, Atlanta doesn't know what they're going to throw at them.
It's time to find out. Can Boston hang with the big dogs? Atlanta always at the top of the leaderboard at the end of our season. Awakening, Cammy, Purge, Snoopy, trying to hand them their worst placement in 2024.
Yeah, we got some unsung heroes on this team. Obviously, Purge has been dropped a couple of times. Same thing with Awakening and Cammy. And now they find themselves in a situation where they're going up against Atlanta FaZe, one of the best to ever do it. Truly a David versus Goliath matchup, and as you can see, they're entering the arena. They are locked. They know what is before them. They know that they're going to have to go through tough teams to make a historic run, and it starts right now.
Purge looks like an NFL quarterback entering the arena, man. He's all swagged out. He's got his chain rocking, all calm, collected. They know it's going to be a tough road, though. They got to get through some of the best to ever touch the sticks, and we caught up with Cammy to talk about it.
I'm here with Cammy of Boston Breach. Cammy, first things first, we're out here on the boulevards. Bit different temperature of old Edinburgh, right?
Yeah, definitely hot right now, but it's all good.
Well, you guys are actually pretty hot in the server at the moment as well. Did you expect to get to this point? Of course, Boston having quite a tumultuous year. This is a real chance to hit the reset button.
Yeah, I definitely expected us to get this far at least. Out of the groups and into the bracket, I think I know what's capable of. We just got to come out and play our game.
What do you think you are capable of? How far do you realistically think you can go?
I think we can make it to the Sunday. I think today obviously a tough game against FaZe, but just got to come out, play our game, not overthink it, and we'll get the job done.
There's one thing you can't overthink is just how incredibly powerful and strong they are at the moment. They are dropped a single map. What weaknesses do you see in them, if any?
Yeah, that's a bit of a tough question. I think we're just going to have to catch them a bit off guard, to be honest. I think they've obviously been playing really well. We've been playing pretty good too. I think we played Toronto pretty good. They're also a really good team. So we just got to come with the same energy and make sure we close out.
Any message to the Boston fans watching at home?
Shout out all the Boston fans. We're trying to turn it around as much as possible. And, you know, last chance of the year, we'll do our best.
Of course, the safety net disappears now. There's nothing left. This is an elimination match. Once you lose, it's all over. You don't want to see your key crew, do you?
No, definitely not.
You got this?
Yeah, I think we do.
Best of luck.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for the chat.
Yeah.
Did I just hear him just I think
Great to hear from Cammy. I just feel like he's at home with a Boston jersey on. He's got the accent to fit in with the boys in Boston.
Yeah.
Now he's got a chance to make them proud, but he's got to go against Atlanta FaZe. And if you missed any of the Call of Duty for the last 5 years, you know what Simp and Abizi are bringing to the table. But they went after Draza this year, trying to find that missing link to give them a W.
They have been shuffling this roster constantly, trying to find that perfect fourth puzzle piece. And I think they found it with Draza. But unfortunately, even though they won an event come chance time, they did so well up until Sunday. And that is an ongoing problem for Atlanta FaZe. So by that logic, they're feeling great in this matchup.
Yeah, I feel like Atlanta FaZe has had an easy road so far in this tournament, I'll be honest. Right? Yeah. Falcons, and then you had 100 Thieves, who you've had so much success against throughout this season. I still think there's a lot of questions that need answered from these guys. As we mentioned earlier in the show, like Atlanta FaZe, will this roster even stay together going into the next year? Do they need a championship to keep this team? No. I feel like they should keep it, but it definitely is like over their heads. There's a dark cloud on Sundays, right? So for these guys, it is imperative that they get this win in dominating fashion and move on.
I mean, it is an insane question to be like, are we satisfied being, you know, top 2, top 3 all year with just the possibility of getting first, or do we keep risking it by switching out the roster and possibly breaking up the team?
Like the Dallas Cowboys, we got a great win-loss record, but we don't win the big trophy. Atlanta FaZe, though, looking to change things up here in Riyadh, and we caught up with Draza. Here's what he had to say.
I'm here with the man of Atlanta FaZe ahead of a huge day for you guys. Did you start the day right?
I started amazing. I opened my blinds when I first woke up. The sun was shining. I was like, yo, I could barely see, but it gives me energy throughout the day. I love waking up that way, so I feel like today has so far been great.
It really is crunch time, and have been here many times. A big Saturday of action. How do you mentally prepare to not collapse here? Because it can happen, right? You know that very well.
Yeah, it's a one and done tournament. Obviously, loser goes home, so it's big to play how you practice. We've been playing the whole year, and playing how you practice, and that's make sure you get to Sunday and you win these tournaments. So that's the biggest thing. Play like you practice, and just have fun.
Boston, of course, the heavy underdogs here. However, you're not going to underestimate them all.
Of course not. I think any team can catch any top team off if they. So it's like I said, playing like we practice and making sure we're doing the little things right, and that should lead to the victory.
Just briefly, I am a massive fan of a good pair of sneakers, and these kicks are absolutely outrageous. Can we just get a close-up of these custom-made Atlanta FaZe kicks?
Yeah,
you've got to love these.
Yeah, these are amazing. Shout out to my girlfriend's dad. He does a kick every single event, and these Saudi shoes just look amazing. So,
maybe
shout out to him.
If all goes your way, you might get a custom-made pair of EWC champions trainers. Let's see what happens, but best of luck. You got to get through Boston first.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yo, Draza, I didn't know it was your girlfriend's dad making these
Those
kicks.
are fire.
Give me a pair, my guy. I'll send you the cash. Let's talk about this showdown, though. You heard in the interview, Atlanta, not really worried about anyone coming out of the semi-pro level. Do you think they put time in and watched tape from Boston's previous matches coming in? Just here to play their game?
Absolutely. I mean, they're always here to play their game as Atlanta FaZe, but I think they're one of our only top teams that will take everybody seriously at the same level. They will never get too complacent. They will never get too overconfident. If anything, they are going to be the hardest on themselves.
Yeah, I talked with Draza and Simp this morning in the elevator. I said, you guys excited about your matchup? They said, dude, we are going to cook these guys. Like, probably the best matchup they could have here to get to that next top 4. And I think they're feeling extremely confident. They probably did watch a little bit of film, but they know that they can just out-talent these guys.
On the other side, for Boston Breach, you mentioned they could get out-talented. But is there on this roster that can cause issues for Simp, Abizi, Selly, Madraza?
Absolutely. I think any of these players could. Cammy have had to go against these guys for years now. I think Purge at his peak, absolutely. But that's going to be the issue, is to go against Atlanta FaZe at the same level. All of Boston Breach has to play to their peak in this series.
Yeah, you know, when I look at this matchup, it's the AR duo for me. I feel like Awakening and Cammy have to pop off in this series. And we saw it. Seriously, Gigawake has to come out, and Cammy needs to replicate that same performance that we saw. We saw in each of the respawns, respectively, in the Stallion series, 30 bomb for Wake, 30 bomb for Cammy. We need it once again.
60 between the ARs is always a good time. Let's take a look at our maps and modes and see where they could potentially deal out that damage. If you're going to beat FaZe, do you have to beat them in hardpoint? Is that still their weakness? We got Rio and Subbase in the mix here.
I'll just Subbase hardpoint. We've seen FaZe. They've been scared to play it all year. They sprinkled it in a bit, and then at Champs, you're like, what's going on? So I think that is a massive opportunity. And then for Boston, sneakily, one of the best control teams, 3-0 here so far.
Listen, I'm looking at Invasion and Invasion. Invasion S&D has been a pain point currently in all along. It was their auto veto. It's going to be map number 2. Invasion control, defense heavy. I'm thinking Boston Breach definitely have opportunity in the middle of the series.
Boston's one win against Toronto Ultra back in Group C was that Invasion control. They get that map for Game 3. Like you said, if you can steal that Game 2 search and destroy, maybe you look at an opportunity for Boston to upset. Let us know with your predictions over at stcplay.gg. Get them in right now. We've got 60 seconds before the players take the stage. Give me something to look out for in this matchup, Nameless. What are you glued in on?
I'm going to be watching Celium and his pace of play. You know, he talks about it in the interview. It's been my main thing for these guys as we get later into tournaments, Saturday and Sunday. Looking for a big series from Celium.
Ali, this is just our second quarterfinal matchup of the playoffs. A Game 5 in the books already. Will we see one?
Ooh, that one's tough. I don't think so. I think maybe this goes Game 4. I'm gonna go with Atlanta FaZe, but I do hope Boston pull out something special.
All right, well, let's get to the map count. The fans don't have to do it, but you two do.
Sure.
You crushed it last time. Neither of you saw a Game 5 coming. Nameless, what do you got for me this time?
I'm gonna go 3-1.
Yes, I did.
I'm gonna go 3-1 Atlanta FaZe. I do think we're gonna see some great moments from Boston, but Atlanta.
3-1
I
Atlanta?
completely agree. 3-1 Atlanta FaZe.
I think we're going to see a second Game 5. It's Riyadh. It's $1.8 million on the line, and you double up your money with a win right here. Let's get down to the Amazon Arena to get our playoff quarterfinal number 2 started.
Alrighty.
As promised, this day is off to a strong start, and the journey of the Ravens at the Esports World Cup has come to an end.
We get to the playoffs, and there's blood in the water already. So let's keep this train moving and invite our next 2 teams to the main stage. We've got Atlanta FaZe and Boston Breach.
Can Atlanta FaZe remain the unstoppable force proven to be this year?
Or is the annual purge about to begin? Let's do this. Game on!
A lot of music too. What they go for? I feel like. Oh no. I feel like when it comes to like majors, they need to do something like this. It'll be dope. In a way.
Well, now here into bracket play we go. The final flight of the Ravens comes to an end here at the
got
Esports
guys,
World Cup.
FaZe
Now
Boston.
Atlanta
Me,
FaZe
I
and
got
Boston Breach.
FaZe
One of
3-0.
them will see their
I
final
ain't
series.
gonna.
So Lars and Charles taking you through this one. Very
Boston
interesting to
get
see
one,
where we fall.
I mean,
Boston, kudos
it's
for
like a
making this
gimme,
hard chance, but
but-
my goodness, what an opponent they find themselves up
Yeah, I
against.
know. Waking in
Absolutely.
there
And it's an opponent where the narrative
Borrow
has
that
begun
team,
to
man.
shift
Can't
over
be
the years,
like-
but we always talk about Atlanta FaZe, how dominant they are. Grand finals and actually collecting chips enough that the community starting to turn on them a little bit, and honestly the community annoyed with the talent for us just constantly gassing these guys up. But one of the main reasons that we still have to is because of their dominance against teams that are not in the top 4. I think quite literally they've had a single series this year against a non-top 4 team that they've lost. Other than that, their record is near perfect. Boston could make the dent, could make the impact. They could pull off an upset, but it would absolutely be an upset because we know Atlanta FaZe is an absolute juggernaut. I think the tone has said literally from map number 1 for Boston to prove that they could get it done.
Phase be phasing things as they usually do. I think the perfect example of this was the interview between both of the players. We heard Cammy talk about what are we going to do to win? We can catch them off guard. We can do something like that. Or as Draza say, anyone can catch you off guard. You've got to bring your A game. That's what FaZe have done this tournament so far. Not dropped a single map in the run to this matchup. Boston have had a tougher run, but hey, something's getting caught here.
It may be for the sense that Boston's at least played against a top 4 team already in Toronto and played them close, and they get some of the same maps, right? In Control, where the man you just saw meditating on your screen in Snoopy was the man that dropped a 1.75 on the Invasion Control as well. So the potential is here for Boston, but again, Atlanta FaZe is the force. We saw it in the Cam interview. He's like, they don't really have a weakness. Like, I get it. We're going to have to catch them off. And if we play at our best, we could get this done. So if that seed of doubt enters your mind from the first map, I mean, you're done. It is chalked.
Cammy, a man who has defeated FaZe in the past, one of the select few to win a tournament over them under the brightest of lights, technically online back in Cold.
You know, man, you know.
Rio,
one of the best books of all time, though.
All time. Here we go, folks. The first map of the series. Into Rio we descend.
The tone setter, and no better man to start with than really Abizi, frontline man, First Blood King. And in a given game mode,
okay,
it's an explosion. Actually takes it for Awakening, but Abizi strikes.
Finds himself a Purge. Now looking for his next. Bit of a battle over towards the hard point as well, so we're seeing contest back and forth. His counterpart Sim finding them all, and oh, nice work out Purge and Awakening. The counter is on here. For Boston, no more though. Draza there with a Renetti. Clean, and now the time.
And I love that look from Abizi as well, right? We're just watching him actually play nice and passive. He understands his job, take things slow, let his teammates get to work. And the small little highlighting example of Atlanta FaZe teamwork is Purge right now, trying to show off the goods on the flank. Great tags, great double kill. Time for Boston. They desperately need it.
Nice time as well, 10 seconds. But the nature of Rio, you can see the minimap already. FaZe are in a position to contest this time and maybe bring Purge down. New hardpoint up. Boston across the map for it. Can they set up in time? Here come FaZe.
They got a lot of pressure as well on the front side. Snoopy very active, except the fact where they lost the spawn. So turn tail and run and make sure you go back and block. You got Purge looking towards the back, and Cammy on the time, trying to get a little bit of help from Snoop. And looks like Boston coming out on top of the kills as long as they get these trades.
They're going to get the trades though. Snoopy dancing, diving. Abizi selling him in the feed. Abizi finds 2 for at least 2, it feels like, in the map so far. He's on a 4 spree. Gets to 6, gets a cruise.
Those were the trades that you needed, was on this very man, and there is not a trade to be found. Finally, Cammy shuts him down before he got a cruise. Things got a little bit nervy. Is that rotation gonna be nervier? Simp takes a route, has the spawns for new, and the fight for the final 20 seconds, Simp really just wants to play keep away.
Second time we've seen Purge pick up a pinch and find himself a sweet set of kills. Simp there. Skeet shoots him out of the sky, going up against Big Wake now. Also, will Awakening? No, he won't. Will he find it? No. But good news there for Boston. You've got a lovely chunk of time. You have the lead for now. The battle towards the new hard point is on. Cammy's in. Draza there as well. Finds 2 out of nowhere. Magic as FaZe take the lead.
Yeah, the good news was Boston had lead. Bad news, they're losing the spawns, and they have no pressure on the mid. You have Simp and number 6, Cellium, working together, and each of them get their kills, and Cellium's still alive, and Cellium not traded out, and all of these Boston players are spawning so far away, and at least you get past Cell, but that is only step 1.
Yep, step 1. Here comes step 2. In the form of Draza. Oh, Snoopy doesn't check right. Awakening down as well. Draza, that's 3 in the feed there for FaZe, and this entire time it has been nothing but hardpoint play from FaZe as well. That lead is starting to get bigger and bigger. The next 15 seconds, very important, as is the rotation to the new hardpoint. Bottom side of the minimap, on we go.
Well, not even able to really sniff any contest time on this hill. Haven't touched the point since it popped in. Yeah, simply not winning any gunfights. They just got chopped down time after time on the old hill. At least maybe some good news. Cammy in position to at least try to cut off the reinforcements before they get the time, and Boston starting to win some gunfights.
You get 1, that's enough for now. Make sure you win the trade. Snoopy getting forward into the fight. Here comes Purge. Can he find these players on the push? Oh, timing's unfortunate. Cellium, great work. Now 3 through the garage, into the hard point. Snoopy on the pinch. There's 1. There's 2. Can he get the 3rd as well? Doesn't. Boys are in. Nice shots out of Draws. What a back and forth hard point we've got.
Draws is just keeping the play alive for FaZe as well as Purge. 1 frame at a time. We'll be looking for the next gunfight. It's been 50-50. Sometimes the lag is just the caster view, and sometimes it's the player. So unbeknownst to us, but the game still flowing.
Yeah, Well, hardpoint in the hands of Boston once again, and their setups have not been bad at all. They've managed to hold firm.
Oh, yeah, okay. That answers that question. Absolutely, players. The FaZe aren't making moves on the hill. Got to pump the brakes and move about our business.
That's a shame. It was 85 FaZe had to the 70 Boston Breach. A close match. We will be most likely restarting that from the beginning once again.
Oh, my
I liked what I saw from both teams. I think Boston had nice holds. They looked very, very strong on the setups. Full reset has been confirmed, folks, but I think it was a solid-looking game chance. Both teams managed to win the race. Breaks were good. I enjoyed that quite a lot.
It is a pretty good example of like the prowess of Atlanta as well, because most of those hills, absolute battle. Even when you have Boston like getting the 3-piece, Snoopy goes for that flanking garage, picks up 2, it's 3 down in the feed. The last man alive for Atlanta FaZe, Traza, picks up the big 2 and stays alive to action inside of boxes and keep the play alive. When we had Atlanta FaZe on the flip side, get that rotation at P3. Perfect lockdown, perfect funnel system towards mid. If you give them a small advantage, they just run away with it.
Yeah, it was very difficult to break that. Look at the bracket, though, folks. How do we get here? Where are we going after this? These are the questions I asked myself. Well, good news, folks. We're still in the quarterfinals here. Atlanta FaZe, Boston Breach will be going into the semis after that. Well, they'll play the winner of Optic Gaming and Cloud9. Who's going to get the dub? That's the question we've been asking all day long. Pundits all across the internet, whether you be on X.com, whether you be on Reddit, or even in... I've seen a lot of chatter there these days. Who thinks they're going to get the win? We'll find out, though, folks, as we get ready to get back into this full restart there on Rio Hardpoint.
I just imagine for the Boston fans, they're looking at it like, hey, this is our first series we got on land in such a long time, or maybe all year. Then they get 2 winners first. They're like, oh, God. And then if you get past them, you're either dealing with Thick or Cloud9. So Boston, it is the hardest road.
Well, it's the hardest road imaginable, though. You know, it's that kind of diversity that they seem to have thrived under. Kudos to them again for making it this far. I did not have them here in my imaginary run to the tournament. We saw our power rankings, we saw our tier lists come out. Boston were not there. I will say, though, our Saudi Arabian counterparts, they did have a lot of love for Boston Breach. All of them had Boston Breach and at least to beat it. The egg on our face, brother.
They saw something we didn't. Maybe Cammy's universal accent fit in Boston. He could fit in right at home here in Riyadh. So a lot of love across the globe for Cammy.
Very much indeed. Wow, Cammy was cool as a cucumber, that interview, being outside, even in the Boston Breach hoodies.
He was talking about it being warm. Dude, you're wearing a hoodie. It's 120. 48, I think, it's Celsius. It just, come on, short sleeve shirt. It's okay.
Oh, no, it's all right. Cammy, it's a game day ritual, I would imagine. You can't take the hoodie off. Once it's on, it only finishes once the tournament does. Well, we're almost ready, folks, to get into the match once again. Again, I think a moment for the boys to just reassess. I mean, the gifts you get given when you can replay a map. How did FaZe hit that? What do we want to do differently? Where did we feel like there were weaknesses in our, not just opening rate, in our rotations? Are we holding properly? What were those singular points of failure in our setups where FaZe broke us down?
Yeah, and any true competitor, when they're dealt this sort of of a break in the game, a true competitor just bounces back. It's the goldfish memory wash away. Toronto Ultra actually is the perfect example of this. We've seen them even at Champs Map 1's dealing with the issues. All 4 players immediately, it's fist bumps out. Who cares? We got to move on to the next thing. And then some players break down immediately, and then so many rounds in a row and complain about it in different periods of time. So a lot of different looks here we have in the Pro League, and in Riyadh specifically, we test the mettle of these 2 squads.
I think that nerves are another big thing.
Also, by the way, Snoopy is like 6'2", and he's so far down in his chair, he looks like the shortest person. Snoopy's the tallest player on that team.
By far.
He's taller than Big Wake.
He's way taller. And that's saying a lot. Big Wake, the stature of a human in and out of game. I had a really good point there about pressure and Snoopy and all that. That was great. He's a big. For the folks who have met Snoopy, many folks who come to any of the majors throughout the year, he's a good guy.
Incredibly nice kid.
Incredibly nice. Not so much in game though. He's a ruthless killer. But again, I was talking about pressure. This is the largest stage, actually, and definitely the brightest lights, without a doubt. Zuma wouldn't last a minute up here. The pressure is immense for these guys.
What happened the next 3 maps, Miles? What happened the next 3 maps?
So remember, I wasn't there.
He won all 3. I don't know. Smoking. No, he's doing great.
Oh, that's fantastic. Memes live on forever. The Snoopy, though, again, is a very, very stressful place to be. We saw him preparing himself before the matchup, and again, an opponent like FaZe tests the resolve. Only the finest players realize that they're all just men. Once we take them down, you get a 4 dead, you get set up, just keep the comms flowing, you do your thing. bad news, though, folks. It is still FaZe on the other side of the stage. They typically don't slow down on Saturdays. The Sunday where things go a little quieter. So far, yeah, that's FaZe, aBeZy, and Cellium. This is just terrifying. S&D, KD, either side. The respawn's terrifying. But so far, not bad.
And unless I have no concept of what Slayer rating is, I think typically if you're above 90, you're doing pretty well for yourself. 82, not too shabby there for yourself. You're breaking 100. aBeZy is insane.
This is something we talk about a lot in the pro COD scene. KDs don't look that impressive when you compare them to like your pub counterparts. Like, I've got a 4 point whatever. I've got a 5.
You're playing, if you have above a 2 K, you're playing nobody.
Yeah, exactly. And the pro league, I mean, at this level, anything above what, as you said,
a 1.4 is either you are the best player in the game or you are baiting all of your teammates and are useless. And again, most of the guys at the top of this level, they're dropping a 1.4. That is truly absurd. So, like, you know, IW formal champs, right? He has that KD across the tournament, one of the most impressive tournaments of all time. 1.4. Again, if you have a 2, you gotta hop in ranked. Actually test your skills against some good players.
We're almost ready to go, folks. Here we have it. Map number 1, take 2. Here at the EWC quarterfinal matchup between Boston Breach and Atlanta FaZe. The first go around, relatively close until P3. Will history repeat itself? Here we go.
I think I legit have a 0.98 KD in ranked, and I'm proud of it.
That's not bad at all, mate. That's absolutely not bad whatsoever.
It's not great, though.
Here comes Simp straight into that point. This time a very different look. We saw aBeZy here in the first go around, and this speed. Whoa, it's Simp trying to get everyone. Boston win the opener.
Oh, that's massive. I mean, they started off the last P1 opening breakdown 20 and had to go on a flanks to start to break it down. So much better look here out of the Breach boys, and now just trying to play containment as Atlanta FaZe. I mean, they're hunting, they are prowling, and Simp.
Oh, wow.
Spot, but that is Cammy's Renetti.
There's nothing but good vibrations from the Boston Breach boys as they continue to hold the hard point with a lovely 20 seconds to go. And look at the pressure. Cammy not letting FaZe get close, passing the intel to his lads. If they've got enough HP, they might be able to take the fight.
And they got what, John? On the SMG right now, the substitution's going crazy. Is that rotation for Boston even better? Draws are the only man in the mix to really make a dent, make an impact, but not traded out. So there's Draza again, the bailout, the extra man, giving you something. And number 6 now blocking the spawns. A hero play.
Oh, and he saw Snoopy as well. This is huge. Into the point. Guns at the ready for Snoopy. Lovely stun check, though. This is still going to be a battle for the new hardpoint. FaZe have come out a little slow after the reset. Draws, though. Force Bree nearly at 5. Great work there from Awakening for the 2. Hardpoint still open for a second.
Again, tip it to Draza on that play. Instead of a clean rotation, he at least makes it mixy and allows his teammates to go and get those back spawns. So I know Boston still have the lead, but Atlanta FaZe, you're expecting to be able to fight for to get the time. And you also have aBeZy going on a massive pinch through boxes, hoping to potentially flip those spawns, and that is exactly what he's playing for. Snoopy gives him the gunny, but Atlanta FaZe may be happy for the scrap.
Yeah, you're looking towards P3 once again. So Boston, lovely work on the restart. Snoopy once again finding these players on the big catch. Draws towards the end of the old hard point. He and Cellium will find those final few moments. The shoes on the other foot. Boston Breach, they get P3.
And trying to turn that beat around, and Snoopy again winning some incredibly crucial gunfights, and they're trying to stave off the pressure. aBeZy, I love to see the pace switch he always provides. One of the best players in the world for a reason. Can't always just run it down and fly him. Sometimes wait for the teammates, and as soon as his teammates get mixed, so does he, but Purge guns him down.
Purge brings him down. FaZe still on the back foot. Awakening. Ooh, we got a lot of damage to Cellium there from the hip. Over to Snoopy. Nice shots in a Simp. The second man not there for the challenge. On the turn, aBeZy picks up 2. 3 in the feed for FaZe.
11 kills for Awakening, and he will stay right there. At least forces the team kill, but what, going to have maybe a 25-point game going towards that new time in Atlanta FaZe. Early setup here on the rotation. Simp ready and waiting.
Waiting, just very patient. That old hard point's going to close. We're going to go to the bottom side of the map towards the garage, and this is where things are going to get hot. FaZe slowly but surely mounting the comeback. Not a huge amount of intel on Awakening. Lovely work. Fastidious in his approach towards Nu. Can he find Draza as well? Catches one. Here comes Draz. Lovely shots.
So cutting him off as well, so he's got a lot of help. And Awakening full sends in. Awakening gives you 2. Don't know how he does it, but Awakening right now shooting on the map, but his teammates still need to pick him up for the trade. Cammy delivers.
He goes by many names. Demon Gigawake, Turbo Wake, Awakening, you name it, and he's shooting tonight, boys and girls.
And the tides are turning.
Oh, here we go. Cammy back into the point. Boston holding it down. FaZe, the pressure is absolutely there. Purge in the feed, brought down by Celian. As Boston have done an incredible job here to hold on. Let's go for a quick listening with Boston Breach.
Yeah, come right in this corner, Joe. Come look over me. Come look over deep. Go RG. Good. Initial. Watch out initial. What gets me top right?
Some boxes, or sorry, P3 cell.
P3?
Yeah, P3 cell. Let's just one on you.
Top bridge, last guy. Top bridge. Yeah, no lobby. Watch out. I'm trying lobby. Wobble it. You want to tell me that? So this one.
It's the cell and dress.
I'm stuck in the right corner. I'm stuck in this right corner. Give
me punch in lobby. I'm not easy. I need the right side time.
Nice job. He's landing. Can you get time? I can't. I'm really absolute, bro. He's deep right still. I'm looking at your corner, okay?
Yeah, I'll help you mid off spot.
I'm trying to hold my ear now.
Easy right side down.
I'm trying from you. Yeah. Inside. I'm trying to take. I'm in take. I have all zig.
Listen, if he pitches, he's going to go deep.
Listen, I have all zig. You're looking
for simp, okay? He's going to go deep.
I heard you. I have all zig.
Okay.
Two back zig. BT one shot and sip is also weak. 2 zig. 2 3 zig. 3 zig.
We can. There's just one more.
One more in zig. Yeah. Zig. So yeah. I got him.
Good comms, it's even better shots. Boston Breach, what an opening map.
Yo, these ARs are piecing them up right now. Demon Joe's got 22, and Cammy's trying to give some highlights as well. Challenge while one shot picking up kills like that. Boston playing with some spine.
FaZe are still fighting for this one, but back to P1 we go, and Boston have just held them down. Here's the attack. Purge can't get any more. 3 in the feed. FaZe break them to pieces.
And this is a testament of the moment right now. Atlanta FaZe like that. Boston, it is a massive lead. You can take your time for the response, and they do it. 3 in the feed, selling now last man standing, and Purge here to hunt him down.
But it's like you're not getting the next 3 seconds. I will try to find you. New hardpoint is ready. Boston are in position. Snoopy locked down. Here comes Draz through the back, trying to play sneaky. No! Cammy reads it, takes care of business, and Boston are in control.
Yeah, you think Atlanta FaZe might take some momentum? No, Boston Breach. This game is looking like theirs. 80-point lead in the time, still singing sweet.
Still singing sweet. They're having fun here in Snoopy. Still on the point, soaking time. Has to tactically retreat. What a win against Sim. Holding the hard point. Reinforcements from Spawn on the close right-hand side.
I love that play from Snoop, too. Hop off the time, try to play guarantee. Wow. But there is a 4-man wipe against Atlanta FaZe, and this could be into the most important rotation of the game.
5 on the minimap. Batman, Abizi, looking towards the top side of the map, not letting anyone get towards the new hard point. Final 15 seconds. The battle continues. Will Sil win it? No. Awakening. He'll have the next 10 potentially. New hard point, though, fully in the hands of FaZe. Despite the shenanigans.
Awakening is having like potentially an all-time map performance right now. He's got 28, and if Atlanta FaZe start fighting back, which they're going to potentially on this hill right here, he could be breaking some records.
This is the turnaround. Snoopy openers up things with a big win there. Cammy joins it, but then Draza can't get any more though. Nice work. An open hard point for a second. Purge in.
Still good play from Snoop as well, just to turn those heads and at least buy his team the time. So Boston, they've done the hard work. They got the spawns. Draza playing bailout again, though.
No way.
3 in the feed. No way. Can't get it done. Draza is built for it.
I'm not going to say it, but he's very, very good. Draza, fantastic work. The 5 spree, stay alive. On the other side, here comes Purge looking for the toes. Can't get it. The 6th now for Draza streaks, and he's shooting.
This is unbelievable. Draza, again, like 2 massive bailout plays we've already had on this map. But Boston still setting pace in another rotation where you can see the lead has been trickling away. What was once a 90-point gap, now cut down to about 45. Boston, you just need to play for these kills.
This is the map of the tournament for me so far. Unbelievable. Boston, here come the streaks. Awakening. Oh, nearly finds 2. Sends Purge in for the kills, though. There, he gets 2. Hard point now. In the hands of Boston, if they can get any closer. Abizi finds 2. Sensational work as FaZe. They're fighting back charts. Let's go for a quick listening. FaZe.
I pitch. I'm
Wait, top right. Let's make close up. Come on, baby. I have a cruise. Come new me. It's order.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Where's your new?
I
have a cruise, okay? Listen, one's a bridge.
You weak.
Listen, I'm gonna use this cruise here.
Nice.
Nice, Tyler. Yeah, one Steve. I can play this, Tyler.
Lobby on me. Lobby and Eskies.
Hey, listen.
What's going bridge?
Here.
What's going bridge?
Sit down first. Sit down. I'm a cruise. I'm cruising. Step. Alright, listen. All overtime. One step. Red stairs, one shot. On top. Here. There's a bridge.
Give me time.
Nice.
Originated. I don't see my side hill. Bridge awakening. Their side hill. Their side. Kill me. Jump off. Low. He's on top.
And somehow Boston still maintain control. This absolute nail biter of a hard point. Locking it down so far, Chance. Things are looking good.
Yeah, Atlanta FaZe, they have just fought back so well. I mean, Draza, again, unbelievable stuff. And now Purge trying to just kill that momentum, make sure nothing funny happens, and they have the numbers for this hill.
Back to B1, third set. This could be game. Purge on the run around. Good shots. Second, no hope. Abizi brings him down. FaZe in control of the point.
These boys are getting loud, too. I can hear them through the headset. They are so far away, but they're making noise. Atlanta FaZe right now. Stronghold on P1.
Still keeping it together. This is very doable. They can get back into this right here and now. Simp on the flank. Big damage. Two-piece. Abizi gets his. Awakening down as well. All four towards the new point. And Boston spawn out.
Yeah, they blocked the spawn. Simp too quick with it. That is the instantaneous reaction. And for the first time in such a long time, Atlanta FaZe almost the lead.
Abizi's in. 4 down again. Boston, the same spawn. They've got to take an alternate route this time, and they are in danger.
This is an awakening 40 bomb potential that might just go to waste.
We'll find out as Abizi picks up another. Can he find a third? There's a single bullet to go. The hard point still. Simp nearly. Draza, he holds the hard point. The guns are steaming hot. Now 2:30 and climbing.
They're going to get this done, man, on P. Maybe Purge can make the impact on the flank, but Draza, the front line, man, continues to collect some kills.
Holding him down. Draza 2. Can he find another? Looking for the streaks again. Draza, the Alaskan assassin. 10 seconds to spare. And Salim and Draz hold back the entirety of Breach. No one close. Nobody home. No nades. No nothing. Map 1. What a banger.
Bro, look at Sim, boy. They don't Sim up. Abizi, what of them they got up, bro? They was not
and
playing.
For what felt like a Herculean effort from the
all right, guys, all right.
I mean, Awakening. 41 kills, near 7K damage. All for naught. Atlanta FaZe, in the end, slammed them.
Unbelievable.
I had to end the stream, guys. I got to get ready to head out. I hope y'all enjoyed. Hopefully Monday, like I said, we'll be back on the CDL, NCAA football. So just watch out for that. For these, I'm gonna have to just give updates on my Twitter. So go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and post my I forgot it's X now. I don't call it X, but it's Twitter. But yeah, let me go ahead and do that. Paste. So y'all can just you can follow me on X. I'm gonna give updates of what's going on in the matches. So I will be watching while I'm out. But like I said, I hope y'all enjoy. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell so you do know I stream, guys. there won't be no stream tomorrow. Monday we'll be back with the Call of Duty NCAA football, so watch out for that. I want to try to get that done hopefully by the end of this month, because it's some other games that's coming out that I'm looking forward to playing. But yeah, other than that, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Have been your boy Darkrai, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.